Alright, I'm getting settled here. I'm going to join Mr. Nava in progress and do something a little bit different today. We're going to cover some World Cup. I'm going to let him take the lead because I haven't covered one of these before. So hopefully I don't fall all over myself. Let's have a good time with it. So for recorder purposes, I am going to join Mr. Nava in progress. We are going to do something a little bit different today, at least on my end. Alec Nava's covered several World Cup games. I've never covered one. So Saturday, July 11, 2026, this will be a semifinal matchup for the right, at least, for Norway and England. So let me give you the starting lineups. We will go with Norway first. So goaltender or goalkeeper Erling Haaland, and then for the defensive side, I'll see if I can do this correctly. David Muller-Wolf. It will also be Torbjorn Hegem. You will have Christopher Ayer on defensive side with Ryerson, Julian Ryerson. Your midfielders, if I have this correctly, be Martin Odegaard, Patrick Berg, Sander Berge. And on attack, Andreas Schürrle, Alexander Sorloth, and Erling Haaland, who is one of the guys in the Golden Boot conversation. Norway has been the darling of the tournament. And for England, their goalkeeper will be Jordan Pickford. On defense, you have Nico O'Reilly, John Stones, Margui, and Urze Konsa. Your defensive midfielders, as we go across here, will be Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice. See if I can find where Gordon is here on the sheet. Anthony Gordon. And then your attackers, as far as what we have, and I just had this across the sheet, for Jude Bellingham, Noé Menduke, and Harry Kane. You will have a suspension red card for defenseman Jarell Quansah, and Jordan Henderson will be out today due to injury. So that is your live look. Again, I know I butchered a couple names there. I apologize as I continue to get more action as we go across. We'll see what the next game will be. Again, that's on a Tuesday. I can't cover that because I'll have to spend some time with the missus, but maybe toward the end of it, if Alec's available and he wants to be able to cover some more of these with me, if I don't jump over myself, then it'll be okay. Let's join him in progress and see what we get.
Jose Enrique. The Norwegian starting lineup and the English is starting lineup. So John, get your first taste of football or soccer. How you doing?
I'm doing well, my friend. I really appreciate you allowing me to jump on here. I'm going to make sure that I don't mess up the call. I'll let you kind of take the lead. I'll provide some of the color stuff, but I'm happy here to work with you because I know we've worked a lot of hockey, baseball, basketball, and the like. So I'm just going to try to have some fun with this and help you out as much as I can.
Hey, glad to have you on board. Anytime we're here together, oh yeah.
This is a darling of a matchup, right, for Norway. I mean, Erling Haaland is quite a story, and I think a lot of teams are probably, and a lot of fans are probably rooting for Norway.
Yeah, as it's been predicted around, they know that Norway, they were the significant underdog entering this tournament, and before the tournament even started, they were ranked 31st in the FIFA World Rankings. Now they have climbed up to 19th, and
Wow.
They're just coming up of beating number 5 Brazil.
So, do we have a situation again? Kwanzaa is serving a suspension on the defensive side of the midfield for England, so he's not going to be playing today.
Yeah, he got sent off against Mexico for a red card, which was assessed at for violent conduct. It's a 2-game suspension.
Okay.
So he's likely going to miss a potential match against Argentina should England win.
Argentina and Switzerland will be our next matchup, and like me, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm not going to go up against Lionel Messi and that squad of goons. I'm going to take Argentina to win the late game.
Oh, but yeah, whatever it is, it's just good luck against Argentina. Though
Yeah.
Egypt and Cape Verde almost had it against Argentina. But the Egypt one was bad.
Let me ask you this, Alec. I know you're taking the brunt of everything as far as the play-by-play, and you probably already went through a detailed pregame, so I don't want to burn out your voice. But are we looking at a possession game, a counterattack style? What are we looking at today?
So what I'm seeing here from England is that I would believe that the game plan is going to run through Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham.
Okay.
They accounted for the majority of the English goals. But counterattacks and an increased back defensive presence from England will be key, though England's defense leaves more to be desired. Norway, however, midfield is their biggest strength when you look at guys like Martin Odegaard and Patrick Berg. And you, of course, Erling Haaland setting up the aggressive headers up towards the front. When I see him play, John, it's like you're seeing the soccer version of Alex Ovechkin on the pitch.
Oh, yeah, so he likes to get dirty, get in the areas, get the headers, as you said, and we're expecting to see. I know the over-under is probably going to sit at 2.5 as far as a lot of these games go, but we're expecting to see at least a couple of goals in this game, I would imagine.
Perhaps. If we get to a penalty shootout, would anyone be surprised?
That would be fun, considering it'd be my first game in here working with you, first game really in general. So we'll let you take it away, and I'll try to chime in where I can.
All right, so we're just getting started here at Miami Stadium, and for legal reasons, I cannot say the actual name of the stadium. This has been the case throughout the entirety of the FIFA World Cup because of the sponsors of those stadiums not being official FIFA sponsors. This will be recollected at midfield and is sent back to the Norwegian goalkeeper, Neelan. He's going to wait, and we'll send this deep. So it's a waiting game here early. You just want to get set and wait for the appropriate lane to develop. Goals are going to come when they're earned, and you have to earn those opportunities.
So we have Norway in the jerseys in red and England in the jerseys in white.
Yeah, those are uniform combos. An errant pass from those intended towards Julian Ryerson is going to end up as an inbound for the English. And Nico O'Reilly, he's playing on a yellow card. He's one of 4 players on the English playing on a yellow card, alongside Declan Rice, Mark Getty, and Jude Bellingham. If either one of those 4 guys pick up a yellow here, they'll be suspended for the next match. Deep pass all the way across, and this is not even a decade, as he is challenging David Boller-Wolf. A decade sends this one well over the goal net. And this will be a goal kick for Neelan.
And we have a feels like temperature on the field, Alec, of over 100 degrees. So I have to make sure you mind your pace here from the beginning, at least.
That's why we have hydration breaks, John, because over 100-degree temperatures of the heat index, those are no joke.
You are a little bit ahead of me, probably about 40 seconds, but that is okay. Maybe not all the way across, but I will take you across here alongside Alec Nava as we take this one in alongside Miami. And again, maybe we didn't expect Norway to get this far, but they're in a matchup with England, and they've been pretty good throughout. This should be fun.
Yes, they challenged Brazil all the way, and they knocked them out, and that's why they earned this spot in the quarterfinals. And as Norway gets itself, Harry Kane's looking for a bit of redemption because it was on this quarterfinal 4 years ago when he missed a penalty kick against France. He's looking to avenge some demons.
Yeah, that is not something I would expect you to say for a player of his caliber.
Yeah, for one of the very best of this sport, his English came up short against Spain in the UEFA Euro 2 years ago on a Mikel Oyarzabal game winner. Is the other Mikel Marino, who scored the winner for Spain against Belgium just yesterday. That sets up a glorious semifinal against France that's coming up this Tuesday. Here is Madeke on the right side. He'll go back. It's been moved up the middle for Bellingham, the Real Madrid man. Now it goes to Anderson, who's going to be playing for Manchester City coming up this August in this Premier League. This goes back for Jordan Pickford, the Everton product. He's loyal to Everton, and he wants to win with them no matter what the cost. Here's John Stones, who is unattached. He's a free agent, last played for Manchester City. Up is Anderson, as he'll go to... Here's Ezri Konsa, who'll go back for Stones. So Konsa, who shifted over right center back to right back because of the suspension of Jarrell Kwanzaa. So that's one adjustment. Anthony Gordon, the Barcelona man, he can play with a lot of speed, and that's what Barcelona likes to build, the speed game. I know England's taking things slow, but you want to find the right lane so that you can utilize the speed of Gordon to set up one of Bellingham or Kane. And Thomas Tuchel built this team to mitigate the weaknesses of Kane and Bellingham.
And as you said, Alec, throughout the power rankings, you have Norway 31st and England 4th. So this is quite a matchup. And as you said early throughout this first 4 minutes, it's a very calm possession game here for England as they're looking to try to build their attack.
Here's a long pass for Gordon. That's headed away by Julian Ryerson, and this will be up for grabs. The last touch was by the Norwegians. Okay, then. I thought this was off the English.
That's what it certainly looked like, but they're going to get back here with the throwing.
Yeah, it did. Very close to call, as this was stopped by Orion Nealon. So we'll get this one up. So I'm going to make sure that we're on the same page here. This was a deep kick in which was looking for Bellingham, but no can do. So Norway's going to take this up through the middle. So what does your clock say right now?
I got 5 minutes.
All right, so I'm right on the same page as you are. So we're around 5 minutes as well. So Ryerson will observe and receive it. Near side across the midfield line. Intercepted by Nico O'Reilly. Up onto the left. Here is Gordon. Bellingham waits. He is pressured. And this is almost thrown away. Now it is by Alexander Sorloth. Wants to go for Haaland and is intercepted by the English. Good defense. And if you want to get defense going, this is the page for England to get up because the defense has been suspect throughout this World Cup. And it can be seen from their match against the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Harry Kane built them out of brace. And against Mexico, they were tested late. But once Julian Quiñones got subbed out, it turned out that Mexico, to my knowledge of what's happened that game, got little predictable with one too many cross passes.
Yeah, you got to be able to, as you said, Alec, keep that possession and make sure you know where you're going with it. That was good backline defense that we just got there from Stones for England.
They're in control of midfield. There are no lanes open here as Norway has them all locked up. Now here's Giddy on the left side. He'll switch directions and go to Stones. The Norwegian front line observing as Haaland is on Stones. Now goes left side for Anthony Gordon. Over to O'Reilly. Touch pass over towards the middle. Bellingham has it knocked off him. Nice dribble to Kane. Kane headers this over to O'Reilly on the near side. And Jude Bellingham is a treat to watch. And as a Barcelona fan, it's a bummer for me seeing him over the Real Madrid side. But Bellingham versus Lamine Yamal would be a treat. Number 10 against number 10. We have a foul here against the English. Offensive foul.
We got a little bit of offsides as well toward that right side of the box, Alec.
Offsides it is. He got past the last line defense.
So it's be a goal kick essentially here within the first 7 minutes. We're still scoreless. Again, I would say, Alec, England's got the brunt of the possession so far, but we're still waiting for this game to open up.
Yep, we're still waiting for the opening goal. Thomas Tuchel's in disbelief that was offside because he thought that his man got back on the fence. Now here's a chance here for Norway. This is flipped up. Here is Haaland. Dribbles this one up for a header. This cannot be got her down. In England, that's the first good chance for Norway to get going. Haaland just ran out of space. As England's in trouble, almost stolen away. They do keep it, or actually this will be Well, yeah, this will be a free kick for England because of a foul on Norway, but Norway did have the first good chance for that sequence.
And I can see what you mean for number 9 and Erling Haaland. 6'5", 205. He did look like a Brahma bull inside that box trying to win a header.
Oh, yeah, he did. He has 7 goals already. And, of course, people are not lying when they're making the Alex Ovechkin comparison in regards to football and hockey. Just have to find a Sidney Crosby comparison, John.
There's a lot of playmakers there. I would say probably Lionel Messi would fit that one, correct?
I would think so, too. Oh, Anthony Gordon got pickpocketed on the near side by Ryerson. O'Reilly will restart for the Free Lions. Stones calls for it and receives it. Stones will advance up ahead across the midfield line. And one rule here is that you cannot be offside when you're behind the midfield line. So the William Quinones goal against Ecuador was not offside. Now, if he was across the midfield line, that would be considered offside. Now, up the far side from Anderson, as England tries to get set as we're 9 minutes deep into the match. No scoring here to speak of. Those usually go slow here to begin as Anthony Gordon hammers this one in to prevent it from going out of bounds, but that was all he could do. Alexander Sorloth testing the near side as he's doubled. Sorloth continues to go and is stolen away. Nice defense from O'Reilly along the near side. Sorloth didn't have any options to move to as he was closed off, so to prevent any passes towards his left, whether it be for Haaland.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Alec. As he's trying to race across the right wing, it was a brutal giveaway by England toward their midfield side near the left. And as you mentioned, 2 players double. He's got no passing lanes, and now England's got possession at midfield.
They're looking to set up the lane. 9:47 into this match, as they're directing traffic left. So far, it's feeling each other out as he goes to Gordon, the Barcelona man. Moving it over for Harry Kane, the former Tottenham Hotspur. Over to Madeke. Handles this off his chest. Well, they say that it was off his hand.
Handball's not allowed. It's going to be possession here for Norway inside this first 10 minutes, still scoreless.
Yeah, this isn't American football. This is European/Hispanic football.
This is fun so far, Alec. I will admit, it's always good to work with you here, but I'm just pretty exacerbated as far as England. They pretty much feel like they're the only one playing with the football right now.
Yeah, it feels like that way. As it's the far side, headed back towards the defensive end as Stones goes across. But Margetti moves up towards the middle as this is Elliot Anderson to Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly with the starter step. O'Reilly had it knocked away from his grasp. And Norway has some numbers on the counter. This is Sorloth. He'll stop on a dime and head back as England quickly retreats. All defenders cutting off the passing lanes. And not even thinking, some were wondering why he was in the starting lineup when Bukayo Saka was available on the right wing. Saka did start the last game against Mexico on the right wing, but on the flank of Kane. So curious decision here from Thomas Tuchel. So it's not like they're alternating between guys. And I thought there was something, no whistle. Julian Ryerson to Christopher Iyer. To Iyer waits. So a lot of these talent here come from European clubs. Of course, Haaland and Kane on the forefront came from Bayern Munich after spending a decade plus with Tottenham Hotspur. A legendary run. It's hard to believe that he's 32 now.
Yeah, it seems like he's been doing it for a while. I'll look at a very high level. And again, anytime you get a chance to play for your own nation and have success, that's great. But doing it in the World Cup, that's where your legend is built.
People want to do it the same way about Jordan Pickford after years upon years of being a walking question mark. But he made the most out of a difficult situation at Everton. Everton finished 13th on the table in last year's Premier League. Inbound for Norway as it was a defensive knockaway by the English. So they'll get reset and wait over at the middle third. Norway, how impressive of a story. So their midfield is a strength. whether it be Odegaard, Berg, or Burge, these three guys here can do damage, especially Odegaard, who was a Champions League runner-up with Arsenal this year, alongside Englishmen Rice and Saka.
That was a big mishit near the right side of midfield. It'll be possession now for England. I think that is one of the Williams sisters that we're seeing on the TV screen.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Serena or Venus Williams, but I want to note something that the Mexican wonder kid, Gilberto Mora, is in attendance in this game. He's 17 years old, and there's word out that he's going to go to the Premier League next year.
You talked about that as far as Mexico and their open and how good he would be. That is a heck of a thrill to already be that good at that age.
Yeah, he's the second youngest player to start a World Cup game, with the youngest being none other than Pele himself.
Wow.
And that speaks to the greatness of volumes that we could be seeing here from Mora. And the elite Premier League teams are already knocking on his doorstep. We're speaking Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City. They'll be coming up big offers for the kid.
Anytime you have those clubs come calling now, like again, as I mentioned, even clubs that I would know in the mix, you think he's going to have a very successful career. And he already has the biggest stage in the World Cup to get some experience in. So it's a heck of a start for him.
Yeah, there was another Mexican by the name of Javier Hernandez, who also is nicknamed Chicharito. He played for Manchester United for 6 seasons and scored the final goal under the management of Sir Alex Ferguson. That was capped off by a Premier League title in 2013.
So as we approach the 15th minute in this game here for the right to go to the semifinal, we still do not have a shot. I guess it's a very good ease into the first game that I work with you.
Well, yeah. So it's not like a 2-2 scoreline that's so thick with you're seeing goals of plenty. This is more like we're seeing the first half of Portugal versus Croatia all over again, which is more of a feeling out process. And one team has dominated the possession, that being England, like what Portugal did against Croatia. Here comes Anthony Gordon moving downtown, and that's knocked away by Ayer. That's going to force a corner.
Yes, it is. It's going to be our first potential action here, as England will get an opportunity. And as you mentioned, the possession game, I think, is fundamentally important. You got to start that there, be able to feel things out, know where you're going to be. And as we get closer and closer, we'll get to a hydration break as well. Rice will look to set it up here.
So, Declan Rice, the defensive midfielder for the English and Arsenal, he came close to a Champions League. The low goal that Arsenal scored in that Champions League was from the German Kai Havertz. As the Germans, they suffered that bad defeat to Paraguay in the opening round. Rice sets this up, and the nearest one was a Norwegian. This will roll towards the far side. Will this get picked up? No, it won't, but Elliot Anderson will leave this over for Ezri Konsa to inbound. Or Anderson's going to inbound himself. Okay, never mind. He's going to give it to Konsa. This is the switcheroos that you think that are a little bit mix and match here about who's going to inbound, but usually it is the left back and the right back inbounding. Gordon's going to walk in again, serving a lane. Nobody is in the box as the ball is well behind the penalty box. Sometimes we call it the penalty area, as it's the 18-foot box. Along the right here is Madeke. As he sends the through ball to Bellingham, he got knocked out outside the box. He'll have to get up. So it wasn't actually a knockdown toward a trip of sorts, says Rice. He's going to look. He goes left side for O'Reilly. Anthony Gordon wants it, but Rice will bring this one back over. 65% possession for the English compared to Norway's 32%. This is diabolical. Here comes the cross in front as that's knocked away by the Norwegians. And England's going to keep. That's a good first look there for the Free Lions.
Yeah, it's a good defending there. A header important in the penalty box area, as you mentioned. Now Anderson has this on the outside.
O'Reilly over to Anthony Gordon on the left. As he'll slip a pass over to Elliot Anderson. One-on-one with Ryerson. Now back over to Nico O'Reilly. Up the middle for Jude Bellingham, who has 4 goals and assists this tournament. Noni Madeke on the right wing. Moving this one down as this gets knocked. Last touch by Norway from André Schoderup. So it's an inbound.
At the 18-minute marker here, still waiting for the first shot on goal. Again, the corner kick that was knocked away. It was put toward the right side of the box, and now England's still battling with possession in midfield.
Now we're close to 70% possessions. This shows how much in control England is. As Norway has not a lot of looks. Almost made one work as it's Gordon at the left. Anthony Gordon shifts towards the right around Ryerson. Now Nico O'Reilly is going to look back for John Stones. Stones towards the left. It'll be Anderson. They'll flip it to Anthony Gordon on the outside to the near. Gordon will go back. As the pass goes towards the cross, this is headed wide. So there's the first chance, and Jude Bellingham felt some discomfort headering this one wide.
I don't think he got a little bit of a contact there inside the box as the ball was way away from him. That'll just end up going as a goal kick. Might have got hit toward the left side of that shoulder.
And this went between the legs of Noni Madeke right towards the shoulder, that right shoulder of Bellingham. That's going to take a look through, but it's marginal contact. The referees didn't see enough for a penalty kick.
I didn't see anything either there, Alec. Again, England, as you mentioned, good possession, a little bit hopeful there on some of their crosses inside the box as we still wait. Now Norway going to get set up here with their possession on the back line.
Yeah, that was a foul. So we'll see what Thomas Tuchel's guys can do and Ståle Solbakk's guys. Now that Norway has possession once again. Along the far side is David Muller-Wolf. Receiving it from Sander Berge. England intercepts. Here is Kane. Kane towards the right. Shot is blocked by Wolf. It'll be recollected by Thorbjorn Hagem. This pass goes too far, and England will restart with possession. Once again, Norway has been forced back on defensive scenarios. Not ideal for a team that thrives on offense like they did against Brazil.
It feels like they're taking the air out of the balloon. I know it's early here, and soccer is more of a chess match, and I get that. But there's a turnover, as you mentioned a couple minutes ago, just outside the right box of the penalty area that could have been catastrophic. And then I'll ask you this, Alec, for as much defending as Norway's had to do, they haven't had to move a lot as far as their shape. So I would imagine, even as hot as it is, not really expending a lot of energy just yet.
They've been comfortable in this 4-1-4-1 defensive formation. Martin Odegaard likes to set the formations. He is Norway's captain. He's in charge on both setting up the attack as the number 10. That's the usual jersey number for one of the central midfielders, whether it be defensive or attacking midfielder. Odegaard likes to do both. Here he's on a defensive role, and he's got Norway in a 4-4-2, which they rotate and be a 4-1-4-1. So they rotate between formations. Here's the setup towards the near side for O'Reilly as we're 21 minutes deep into this match. Still looking for the first goal. O'Reilly is going to look. Kane set up in the box. So is Bellingham. But instead he's going to go back for Stones. Similar to what we saw at the beginning of England versus Mexico at the beginning of the first half, in which England was taking over possession. But this is a sliding pass towards the near side. Here's Gordon. Anthony Gordon, 1-0 of Joya Ryerson. Gonna shift this one back over to O'Reilly. The cross goes to nobody, and it goes low above Noni Madeke. It is Muller-Wolf off the far side. He wanted this to be a clear. Erling Haaland on the chase down. John Stones playing this smartly for Jordan Pickford. So with Haaland on the attack, you do not want to risk turning over the ball. You want to just send this one back calmly towards the goal, preventing him a dangerous look.
That's exactly what they're doing in that pass back across, as you mentioned. And then England just being very calculative as far as what they want to do. Kind of playing pitch and catch at the moment as we're still waiting for the first shot on goal. Here's a good combination pass.
It's a nice slide onto the left as England wants to get set up. Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly, that was speed. Up for Bellingham. O'Reilly sends the cross in front. And going to get some down in Madike. Madike has a trouble. Now says one up front is loose. Norway trying to clear. They will escape here onto the hydration break. They escape, having not conceded a goal yet.
Good job there, Alec. I didn't want to jump all over you as far as the call. Ndwike is the one that sends it in, and it was just knocked away near the left side of the post as we go right into the hydration break. That figures as soon as we get some action, and now we need some water. We'll take a break.
And we will. And what a game that was yesterday between Spain and Belgium. And Spain, they did pull off another clutch victory. And there's someone that I know can be clutch for Spain off the bench. Mikel Merino has 3 goals in the international stage for Spain, whether it be in the Euro or in the World Cup. All of them have been late game winners.
That is what you want to have. It's kind of like a pinch hitter in baseball when you got runners on base. You know, you get a chance to be able to do some damage, kind of use all of your energy and everything else, and know what you need to do. Get and score a key goal. I don't think, and I saw some of your posts on X, and I completely agree with you. Again, I haven't followed a ton of the World Cup, but the United States, they could say, hey, well, Spain knocked out Belgium, so it's not so bad. You and I would disagree. Again, you and I said that USA would advance out of a weak group. They did, but the way that they got worked over in their game against Belgium, that was a pathetic effort.
Now, it's not all Pochettino, but we need to have serious discussions on American soccer culture and how bad pay-to-play is, because it's all over soccer here in the United States. It's basically making development of the best virtually impossible in the States.
You said it exactly right. I couldn't agree with you anymore. Again, I saw those posts, and that's exactly what it is. It's that, maybe a little bit on the back end. I would say probably 5-10% entitlement and some of the other things, but you need to kind of mix and match and mirror what goes on in the other nations if you want to bring some of that stuff here. That's the only way that it ends up working out correctly. And I would say for the women, I don't want to be disparaging to them, maybe more so of a talent gap on that end. But for the men, they need to kind of change that culture. And I agree with you completely.
Yep, they do. If you look at Mexico, they're setting up about 2,000 football academies just to develop young talent, and it's funded by the football teams of the Liga MX and the Mexican government itself. So there's a start.
That's a great point. Again, you got to try to get the funding, get everything else that you need. And you really, I know that there's a lot of other sports here with the American football, baseball, and all that stuff too. But Alec, if you really want this, you got to take it seriously and you got to do it right.
You have to. Mexico's taking it seriously after the emergence of the Wonder Kid, Gilberto Mora. So you have to take a page out of the other countries' playbook. Argentina takes it seriously. Colombia, Brazil, Spain. Yeah, I can list off several countries who take, and they take it just as seriously as anyone else.
Yeah, at all times. Again, in the nation's game, it's important to them. I would imagine with a little bit of a hydration break, and this is built in. Right now, unless something happens, we're probably only going to have a couple minutes of extra time here for this first set of 45, but we're getting underway here with England with possession of midfield.
So as we are getting back here onto the action, I know my feet can be, my feet is a little bit of you know what in there, as we discovered in the USA Belgium game. Oh my goodness, I don't want to talk about this. I'd rather talk about the Mexico England game. And Mexico showed that they played with heart throughout. Now we have to see how Norway does this game. Somebody got knocked down along the far side. What's that?
Whoa, that's a big challenge toward the left side of the box against Bellingham.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh, he got knocked down hard. That's going to be a free kick from one of the most dangerous areas on the pitch.
He got it in toward the inside of the area, which you don't want to get hit, just outside of the box. My goodness.
Yeah, just outside the box. They were so in a free kick for the English national team. The Free Lions getting set for one of the best chances they have. And Harry Kane certainly has the boot to deliver from this distance. will be the one taking it.
Looking for the first shot on goal in this game. You at least got to do that inside that soccer net. And as Alec mentioned, looks like Harry Kane is the one that's going to get things going here inside the 28th minute.
Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, they're also there in case it's Kane, but I would expect Kane to take it as he's the striker of this team. He's the traditional number 9. As we ready up, everybody gets set up in position in the box. As Kane readies himself up alongside Noni Madeke with number 20 in white. So Erling Haaland also positioning himself. Norway's defense gets set. We're almost about to get the signal here. And standing opposite side is Florian Nieland, who is waiting for the signal to arrive. So the whistle blows. So here's Harry Kane. He readies himself up, and the lever is high!
Nothing wrong with the power, Alec. The accuracy had been misplaced. He was going for that top left post. He airmailed it.
Right decision to look towards the high side and area where Florian Nieland couldn't reach it, but it's just misplaced at the last moment. So now it is going to be Norway to move this up from left to right, and a chance to make England pay for that mistake.
Now Norway is going to start with this in midfield. Again, the Golden Boot race. You got Kylian Mbappe with 8, Lionel Messi with 8, Erling Haaland with 7. Harry Kane also has 6. So a couple of the top goal scorers. That's why Alec could put Golden Boot inside the post here in this game. But it's been predominant possession for the jerseys in white as we're going to get set here for the midfield again to start it off. Norway will lead it.
All right. I know Peacock has been glitchy at times. I switched over to Fubo just to take account for the lack of glitching throughout. So I'm not seeing any glitching from Fubo here. So all was good. Just as moved up towards the right. Trying to pass to Sander Berge, and now Alexander Sorloth. He has to get going because he's been struggling in this World Cup. No goals to speak of for Sorloth. Martin Odegaard, the Arsenal man. Quick shift onto the right, believe for Sorloth. Sorloth sends this one back. Here is Berge. Will slide a pass through. Doesn't get it all the way. And this will be reset for Odegaard. Odegaard towards the near side. Shoulder on a foot race. Pickford won it. And here comes the Viking Road, John.
That's a pretty darn cool tradition that they had across to show that in the camera shots. I saw the tickets cost over $2,000 to be able to attend this match. So everybody excited to be able to see this in a trip for the semifinals.
The winner here will face the winner of the Argentina-Spain match, the Argentina-Belgium match. I don't want to, sorry if I said Argentina-Spain. I don't want to jinx any team as it's moved up towards the near side for Elliot Anderson. Look back for Anthony Gordon. Gordon was tripped. This is going to be a free kick. This one's going to be in a less dangerous area, but Julian Ryerson gets a foul called against him.
Yeah, he was able to wave it off to at least not get a card in this match. But again, it's another opportunity, as you mentioned, Harry Kane able to slide that one wide when he was a little bit closer to the box. This one just a little bit outside toward the midfield as Rice will try to get it going here. You got Bellingham in the box alongside with Haaland as well.
You think Kane would be one to redirect of his head? That's what a number 9 would do. That's the area which Raul Jimenez of Mexico thrives at, as he's a number 9 himself. So Erling Haaland wanted to get the header defensively alongside the rest of his teammates, Ryerson and also Odegaard as well. Here comes the kick from Rice. That's headed away nicely by the Vikings. That's the nickname of the Norwegian national team. As England recollect up here, near side. Rice, he's been playing for injury dating back to his Arsenal days. So he's going to send this one back over to Konsa. Ezri Konsa, as he's going to go back to his right back position. Now here he is with the ball again on the middle third as England It's eating up the possession clock once more. It's been the same song and story as with the first 20 or so minutes, John.
So again, as we said, I said to you in the open, what kind of game would be? As anyone trying to do this, and Pickford had to be alert, trying to play a little bit too cute. There was England.
And Martin Odegaard was creeping up by to steal the ball in case Jordan Pickford was caught sleeping. That hasn't been the case. Oh, here's a giveaway! And Jordan Pickford bails out John Stones.
Alec, I just mentioned that I really don't want to be cute. You could do that toward midfield. You start doing that in your own end, you're going to have Norway walk their way into this game when really it's just been one shot on goal, honestly. That is dangerous stuff for England.
That's not even if you're a goaltender 10 to goal like the Victories and Tim Ream. That was just, what are you doing, John Stones? Unfortunately, Pickford bailed out Stones, and we play on. And this time, perhaps this is an energizer for Norway because they have the possession now. And the 34th minute.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. As we said, both of these teams, predominant possession for England, as you mentioned, but a lot of midfield battles. I don't think these guys have had to leave their shape too much. Haven't expended a ton of energy. Kind of looks like right now, unless we get something late in the next 10 minutes, that we could go into this scoreless, and then teams would have their substitutions all set to go in the second half, maybe to make a push. That's what it kind of feels right now as we're getting close to the 35th minute.
Perhaps it could be Marcus Rashford for England or Oscar Bob for Norway. Bob's been mostly used as a substitute for the Norwegians. Rashford is also mostly came off the bench. He hasn't seen action against Mexico in the second round. But also do note that Bukayo Saka is another option off the bench for the English. That also means Antonio Nusa is normally a starter for the Norwegians. He could also be seeing action off the bench. Here's Julian Ryerson with the cross in front for Haaland. Hey, Pickford! So there's the first shot on goal for either club, and it comes by none other than Erling Haaland.
Take it, Alec. You're going to have something in front of you.
Here is Martin Odegaard going towards the left side. Going down here, a high shot! There it is! Goal!
That was a bomb for Shelter out number 21 as he gets the lift over the shoulders. We just talked about that. He had a near giveaway. There was a good exchange against Kane. He was the one that was knocked down in the midfield. We get the replay here near the left side of the box off the one-on-one. What a curl of a shot into the top left corner. Pickford's got no chance. It bounces off the left of the bar and goes in. A perfect shot. Norway's got the lead.
Andreas Schotterud with the first goal as he comes to their life, replacing Antonio Nusa, by the way, as he puts this right above the hands of Jordan Pickford and off the bar too. No chance for Pickford to stop that, even if it goes off his fingertips.
I'm glad you mentioned it on the previous side when England gave up possession toward their defensive end, and you had to have Pickford come out there and make a save. And you mentioned it right after. Does that give Norway some momentum as we get late into this first half? Well, it certainly did. What a shot that was.
Right after the Erling Haaland header, too.
Yes.
I thought that one of the goals of Norway was going to come from someone other than Haaland. There you go.
You got Pickford way out there as far as trying to set up a goal kick, and this will go back to the other end. And now Norway will get a chance to start this alongside with Ireland. So England electing for a long counterattack. That goes right to the goalkeeper.
Jordan Pickford with a deep kick towards the penalty area. That doesn't go as planned for the English. Somebody went down. That's Bellingham. Orion Nealon saw it all the way. No whistles here to speak of from the refs here as Nealon sends this towards the middle third where this will be up for grabs. Oh my goodness, Nico O'Reilly went up and over, and that whistle cancels things out, and O'Reilly is flavoring his shoulder.
Yeah, he jumped up high to try to win that header on the defensive side of the midfield. He landed on the left side of his hip. That one's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, it's a hip, or maybe the head. That's going to hurt a lot. No cards given out from the officials, fortunately for Alexander Sorloth, but that could have been very close to being one, but it's not on a scoring chance. Yellow cards can be assessed on scoring chances. Pass to the far side for Noni Madeke is matched up nicely by David Muller-Wolf. Along the far side, the English will reset. 38 minutes deep, the opening goal from Andre Charleroi. From the middle third, England looking for the quick counter. And I know this can be very back and forth as it is ever-changing game. Anthony Gordon commits an offensive foul on Julian Ryerson.
And Ryerson saw that. His teammates, everyone else gets pumped up. You know, they're feeling themselves after that opening goal there. Norway feeling confident.
They are. Norway's feeling confident that even without possession of the ball, that they can tighten things up defensively. There have been questions about their defense, but Ståle Solbakken and Martin Odegaard have made the most of what normally is a defense that is well outclassed by anyone else. Another quick shot, and that goes by Pickford, but over the net, past his hand.
Yeah, how did Sorloth even get to that one? He had it on the right side of his foot. And Norway really starting to cook here. Take it away.
Oh, Alexander Sorloth, one-footed. How in the world did he even get that up? And a very curious handle by Pickford. He was hurried up. Here is Sorloth. He's been cooking well here. Odegaard, gonna drive him deep. Tag Pickford, and he'll grab onto it to force the goal kick.
This is starting to get fun here, Alec. I'm liking the way that Norway is able to attack. They've got that goal within the last about 8 minutes or so, and then they're using this back half of the first half to kind of put their staple into it. England, I would think, would be happy to only be down 1-0. And they don't want to be down considering all the possession that they have, but they're going to need to find something different here after this first set of 45 and how long the extra time we end up getting.
Yeah, 5 minutes left until we get into stoppage time here. We would assume that this is the time that's accounted for that was lost to the hydration break. And some of the stoppages, such as the free kick from Harry Kane, another from Declan Rice. So they're adding up all the minutes that were interrupted by play. Charleroi, the only goal. Odegaard was stopped by Jordan Pickford on the last spark. Well, now, as we're moving this up through the middle, as is Norway, looks, England cuts it off, and they're forced back. They're going to move it up towards the middle side. Jude Bellingham has to get going in more and more here. He did score twice against Mexico, but he has yet to find the back of the net. All but one of England's goals have come from either one of Kane or Bellingham. The only exception was Marcus Rashford. Norway's fans are on their feet with 4 minutes left to speak in this first half before we get to stoppage time. David Muller-Wolf will inbound it. Nice feed up the middle, but Erling Haaland was well accounted for by the English. Up the middle. Oh, somebody got body checked at the middle third. And this is going to be a foul.
Yeah, England's taken about 4 of these, honestly, Alec, in the last 8 minutes. 4 shots after the first 36 were blanked for Norway. They're starting to get their offense going. Again, we're going to head into the 42nd minute with Norway up 1-0.
It's 1-0 here in favor of the Vikings. The Three Lions need to get set here. Mentioning team nicknames to legalize it. The Albi Celeste of Argentina up against Switzerland. Trying to remember what their nickname is. Lionel Messi going up against Espriel and Bolo, who is the leading man for Switzerland. Up on the middle third are the Three Lions. They still cannot find a lane. Now this is to the left side for Anthony Gordon. Gordon goes over to Elliot Anderson. Anderson. Some wonder why Cole Palmer was left off of the English national team alongside Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oh, this is Thomas Tuchel's vision of the English national team. Wanted to be a more possession-based game for the English compared to the style that Gareth Southgate wanted. Here is Ezri Konsa. He goes back. Almost was a steal, but overrunning the ball, I believe this was, I can't get a number on it, but this is Shardaroo. He overran the ball. So the English Sullivan left 2 minutes left. The pass intercepted, intended for Bellingham. Now coast to coast goes Norway. It's flipped over. Now a 2-on-1 here. Alexander Sorlock can coast this home. He'll wait. Go toward the middle. Defenders catching up. And his shot is blocked. He took way too much time. Way too much time.
Yeah, 2-on-1 developing there. You got Erling and Sorloth there. Sorloth probably took about 10 seconds too long, Alec. And now England going to start with possession again toward the left side, just outside the penalty area. As this gets knocked away, and Nyland doesn't have to make a save, but it will be a corner here upcoming for England.
The second one for the Green Lions today here at Miami Stadium. The Orion Nealon has held his ground here. That was a nice defensive header right in front of Nealon by Jordan Hago.
See if they can do better here. Their first cross on their corner just missed everything. This one be looking toward the left side of the back post, I would imagine.
And once again, it's Declan Rice to take the corner. He is the midfielder that will set up everything. Normally, teams who have a designated man to take corner kicks. And for England, that's Rice. Argentina, that's Lionel Messi. For USA, that's Malik Tillman. And for Mexico, that would be Roberto Alvarado, who's been the breakout story for Mexico, nicknamed Piojo, for his creativity and his forward prowess. Rice sends this up towards the middle. That's knocked away, but it'll go to Rice along the far side. Norway is calling for an offensive foul. So we're 15 seconds away. Well, now the officials finally listen to Norway, and they'll give them the foul.
Alec, that was a very poor corner, in my opinion. Don't you think? You don't get anything out of it, then you get a foul on the other end. You had a penalty miss there. Well, not a penalty miss, but just outside there for Harry Kane that was airmailed, and then a couple corners, really, that England did nothing with.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that was bad. The corner kick, as we're getting a replay of the Shardaroo goal. This young forward, he's having himself a nice tournament at just 22 years old. It's the youth movement for the Norwegians with Haaland, Shardaroo, Nusa. As England has a fast break. Here's Anthony Gordon, the Barcelona man, looking to set up at the near side. 4 minutes of stoppage time, he loses the ball. Excellently played by Christopher Iyer.
Yeah, that's what it's been a lot for Norway when it's important. But now England, after this goal kick, trying to get it going again. They're trying to center it in the middle of the box.
Valley Solbakk's group is leading 1-0. Thomas Tuchel's group wanting to find a tying goal before halftime. If they can get it by means of Bellingham or Kane, the better. Elliot Anderson over to Anthony Gordon. One stutter step, one touch. Bellingham surveys. Goal! Goal! From England!
Couple chances off those long breaks. This first one off a goal kick, and Bellingham able to break through as he'll be the recipient of this pass. It's a good touch near the left side of the box and make one miss. A long outstretch that hits a good cut inside toward the back post and just gets a piece of it. It goes away from the outside of the leg from Nyland. I think it just brushed away from his left foot, enough to be able to slide through. But I think that's a good cut. Falling away was Bellingham knocks it in the net. That's a great goal.
Oh, as he was falling down,
Yeah.
that's a brilliant stuff from Jude Bellingham, who has picked up his third goal in the last 2 games. He had a 2-minute brace in the second round against Mexico, and he's gone to board here with his 5th goal of the tournament.
You only had 2 other minutes of stoppage time to go, and now England finds a way to get this tied up. Again, we talked about maybe the over/under at 2.5. Now we're starting to see goals, and England looking to go the other way again.
But now you have it. Second minute stoppage time. Jude Bellingham and Ezra Andre Charteroux, who scored the 36th minute. This is handled by Noda Badeke. Up on the near side now. With speed is Jude Bellingham. He can have a burst. So does Anthony Gordon, but that's broken up once. Harry Kane from long range. And Orjan Nealon sees the long screamer and says, "No, sir."
Well, you were exactly right, Mr. Nava. You said about the first 25, 30 minutes would all be possession of feeling out. And then we said, you know what, in the last 15 minutes, forget about all that. We're just going to go for offense. This has been a heck of an entertaining first half.
It is. The first half has delivered all sorts of entertainments. And we're just missing goals from Haaland and Kane. That's what's missing here. But I'll be shocked if they were not on the board at any point of this game, either one of Howard or Kane. Here is Anthony Gordon again. He can put on the afterburners once more. He's going to stop and conserve energy.
Oh,
Gordon will head back over to Elliot Anderson. Anderson over towards the middle. Declan Rice to the middle. So I can pass for Kane. Oh my goodness! Goal! Wait a second. Was that offside?
yes, it was. He had a couple of steps offside. He was flagged by the referee. He would have walked in unabated. It was a good run. He was just a couple steps ahead. We go to the half. We're tied at 1.
Oh, that would have been glorious. The referee waved his flag. This is one of the greatest goals that's not going to count.
Alec, I really appreciate you letting me join in on this. I hope I didn't step all over you. I don't feel like I did. I felt like we just had a fun first half. I really picked a good game to join you with, I guess.
Oh, yeah, you did. The most entertaining match so far of this quarterfinal. And I know I want to get this out of the way that my prediction here is a penalty shootout. Norway advances after a 2-2 draw.
If that's what we get, I will call you the seer and I will give you your betted money. As far as that, that would make me very excited considering this is my first game. And again, I like what you sent to me across the post when I asked you if I was going to join in. You said hockey, soccer, it's all the same family. You can use all that stuff and use the practice and feel good about it. And I do, because we've worked a lot of games together. To be able to walk into this, maybe at some point, maybe I'll take some play-by-play, not in this game, but we'll figure it out as we go across. I just wanted to get some World Cup practice, and I'm enjoying myself.
Perhaps if we were to call it a World Cup final.
I know at least for Wednesday, I think my availability is good. Tuesday, it's not. I think that's going to be France and Spain, I believe, on Tuesday. So Kylian Mbappe, I don't know who would be favored for that. Maybe France, I'm guessing.
Perhaps as France would be the favorite, though I want Spain to go to the final from my bracket.
So you have brackets filled out?
Not exactly, but my prediction is Spain wins the whole thing.
Okay.
I think Spain and France are the most complete teams from what I've seen throughout, and I love what I'm seeing here. I do. The winner of Spain versus France wins the World Cup, from my opinion.
Okay, so that is something I will keep in the back of my mind. Let me ask you this before the tournament started. Did you even have Norway making it this far?
In my honest opinion, I would say I had Norway in the quarterfinals beating Ivory Coast and Brazil. Brazil was going to be a tough matchup, but it was doable of how Haaland was playing.
Okay, so wanted to make sure to get that across. We'll give you some ESPN looks as far as what they have. Alec and I had told you this. The possession game was heavily favored for England, about 68 to 32. As far as percentage, shots on goal 3-2 Norway. Again, you have the shoulder up goal, which was great at the 36th minute, and then Jude Bellingham in the 47th with the 2 minutes into extra time. As or I should say 45 plus. I think it's 47 minutes. We can just say it that way. Accurate passes. Again, this would fill out with the possession 337 to 146. Again, those all count as one touches and everything else, just keeping possession. Fouls committed 5-3 Norway. Again, Alec and I can tell you this as far as the fouls, again, no cards to be given out, but there was some good battles in toward midfield, and then there was one in off the shoulder of England, which was not a foul, but 5-3 there as far as carded in position. But England started to lose some of those battles in toward 35, 36 minutes. They had a possession in their own end, which Pickford had to make not a huge save, but at least be standing at attention to maybe stop a possible turnover in their own end. And then all of a sudden, when that happened, that's when the goal started, as we mentioned, alongside shoulder up and Bellingham. That's why it's 1-1 after the first half. Again, winner would be going to the semis on Wednesday. Again, that's also in the favor of Argentina and Switzerland. That'll be the late game at 9, also on Fox. But if I had to guess right now, and this is just complete conjecture on my part, I think we are getting the game with the most excitement.
It is. And also, I can agree with you on the game with the most excitement that this is the one. Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, that's the big storyline. That the Golden Boot race is what everyone here has come to watch throughout. We haven't seen Kane or Haaland score, though Kane would have had it worked for an offside. That was a glorious pass. But part of his body was ahead of the last defender. But it's always a treat when you get to watch the Viking row from the Norwegians. We've seen this at one of the Mets games. We've also seen this with one of the Red Sox games.
Yeah, that's cool. I think the World Cup fever is certainly spreading across. Again, I watched a lot more of it, Alec, admittedly, as a teenager. I haven't got into it as much now, but I saw a chance with you working on this, and I had to jump in. It's a good time to jump in now into this quarterfinal. And this one touch that we saw for Bellingham as he was falling away toward the right side of the post was pretty spectacular. Honestly, both of the goals that we saw were good, and the camera shot that we got of the coach throwing the water bottle certainly made me smile.
Oh, that is cool. It's the emotions of the World Cup in a single elimination tournament like this. You can feel this all across any major tournament, whether it be the Copa America, Gold Cup and CONCACAF, UEFA Euro, maybe you expand onto other major tournaments in domestic sports and other sports.
And we had the first about 30 minutes where we didn't have a shot on goal, and then total shots 5-4, and then probably in the last 14, 15, three shots on goal to two in favor of Norway. Again, as you mentioned, fouls 5-3. They're going across some of the stats that we talked about. I want to flip just a little bit briefly because I saw this post from Shams Charania. I don't know if you heard anything about the Summer League. I don't know if we got any other updates, but apparently Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero that are now on opposite teams got an altercation in the Summer League.
Well, somebody has video of this, and we're waiting to see what actually happened during that altercation because, as I know, words were said, fisticuffs were made, and it's getting ugly between ex-teammates.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how that ends up working out that way. Again, now you got Bam Adebayo and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Heat, and that was going on in Vegas where Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo throw punches, and that was reported. Again, it was a top story yesterday on ESPN when they had a little bit of a run-in, and then we're still waiting on the other end for LeBron to figure out what team he is going to join. Again, if I had to put my money on it, I would have to think the Cleveland Cavaliers. I would think the Miami Heat now no longer makes sense.
I feel if I'm LeBron, and is either one of the two teams you mentioned, Cleveland or Miami. And those two are the big storylines that I want to see him go to. But the one that I want him to go to is the only team that makes the perfect sense: the Cleveland Cavaliers. 1 year deal for a final send off before he calls it a career. I wanted to make that happen. And even if it doesn't result in a championship for the Cavs, it's the perfect way to end a career.
It's a perfect fit, as you said. It's not going to command a ton of money as far as the salary cap, and as far as what he still is. Alec and I and everyone else that follows the NBA can tell you that LeBron James is still capable of leading and being a primetime scorer, even at his age, especially in flashes. So you're going to get tremendous value there. And I did see one of the comments alongside Reddit, and I just want to put this here. Popular comment says Hero does have a punchable face, to be frank.
Oh man.
I had to laugh across that one.
They have to say that. Oh my goodness.
Can I ask you this too, Alec? I know we've been following across NHL and the free agency frenzy and everything else. Again, we knew that a lot of this was going to happen with trades at the beginning because the agency class wasn't particularly strong. But I got to say this, as far as being in the Steel City, again, I know the Philadelphia Flyers are a major rival to Pittsburgh. But Danny Briere, I know he didn't win it as far as Leo Carlson and that offer sheet, but I really like them putting the pressure on the Ducks.
Yep. I like that for Danny Briere. As much as it's hard for me to say it, that there it earns some respect there.
Yeah.
You're taking advantage of Pat Verbeek's extreme patience with his young guys. You know what Kent Hughes did with Montreal? Lock up his young guys early. That's what you're supposed to do as a general manager. Not wait until the last minute to lock up your young guys. Otherwise, someone's going to tender an aggressive offer sheet, and that there, from what Danny Briere did, is Pat Verbeek paying the consequences of his own actions by matching the offer sheet.
You're exactly right. Now, Leo Carlson set to become the highest paid player in the NHL. I know the Kachucks, alongside their Wingman podcast, saying that's going to end up being a value contract. And that still may very well be, as the salary cap will continue to balloon north. But you're absolutely right. You can only take penny pinching so far. You're able to lock up somebody. You got to do it early because you knew, I think, over the last couple seasons, the type of player that Leo Carlson already was. So Pat Verbeek, that's going to end up biting him a little bit. And even though they have the cap to get it done, Alec, I would be remiss if I didn't say that Verbeek's going to have to answer to that anyway. The fact that he didn't do it earlier.
Yeah, now he's going to have trouble paint cutter goatee
long
term. And at the end of the day, he's going to have to settle for a bridge deal of goatee because of said extreme patience. What's not helping is that a contract he gave AJ Greer. 4 years at $4.5 million per year to a fourth liner with trade protection.
Let's be clear. Alec and I will tell you this. We like the player in AJ Greer. We respect that he's a Stanley Cup champion. Again, former Flame. He won it with the Cats. Like the guy, like what he brings. You can't pay him that much money and give him full trade protection. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, for a fourth line player, typically fourth line players get around $2 to $3 million per year among the best fourth liners in the league. That's way too much. You're paying him third line money.
I'm going to ask you this. I don't want to blow your voice out, but I just want to hear your thoughts on it, Alec. But if you need to rest, make sure you do so. For the Sharks, they needed to get to the cap floor, right? So we understand that they had to go out and spend some money. I don't dislike Jacob Trouba. Hell, I don't dislike Darnell Nurse. But that was a lot of money to hand out those two boys. And you have to imagine, with Leo Carlson getting the money that he just got, Macklin Celebrini, I'm going to say it, is already in superstar status. Macklin Celebrini is going to command you some money, and so is Will Smith. So for Mike Greer, yeah, you probably got the money to make sure that that gets done. We talked about the Ducks and maybe having to worry about their money. The Sharks might have to at some point too.
At this point, because of the Carlson contract, that just reset the Celebrini negotiations. We expect, what, $20 million per year for Celebrini? Oh, yeah, that's he's going to cost a lot of money when his contract comes up. Will Smith as well, and when Michael Misa comes around, yep, I feel the Sharks, even though they haven't reached that at this point, they're already facing cap hell. Not for now, but in the future. Of course, you're trying to get to the cap floor. And let's be honest, Nurse and Truva make sense for the present. They don't make sense for the future, but
No.
at least if you're getting Truva, you're teaching the young guys how to win. He's a leader.
Yeah, that's exactly what you get with those two. I completely agree there. I would say, like you wish that you get them for a little bit less of a cap hit because in the end, it did cost you William Eklund because you can't afford to pay everybody. I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I'll say it honestly. I do think Ottawa didn't do a bad job as far as their return for Mr. Brady Kachuk. I don't know if Brady essentially would get 75, 80 points with the Cats. Probably at times. I do like the player, but I would say a little bit underwhelming as far as his potential production. Yeah, 65, 70 points is great. I do think Brady's probably capable of more. I'm sure that they were done with the theatrics. I bet the Wingmen podcast didn't help things. But as far as captaincies in the next one, if you don't want to go with an American captain, I would understand, although it was half and half as far as Canadian. For Jake Sanderson, you might want to go with the big German and Timmy Stutzla.
Yeah, at this point, you want to give Tim Stutzla the captaincy because I would argue that Stutzla over the last 2 years, he's arguably the best player on the Senators. And even this year include Brady Kachuk in the fold.
Yeah.
And if you want to, then you can have Stutzla the captaincy. That's to risk not wanting to give it to an American player the next go around, knowing that American players and Canadian markets, as of late, haven't had the best rep unless your name is Cole Caulfield or Lane Hudson with the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, you said it exactly right. I was leaning that way. Again, I know a few weeks ago you sent it across for the parade for the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm sure you had a lot of fun with that, and congratulations once more. As far as the cup, I saw the story across of the guy that put his family on there in comparison to the equipment manager. I think that is a big miss.
The equipment manager has been with the team since the WHA days of the New England Whalers. That's disrespectful,
Yes.
in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a big miss. You got to make sure, hopefully, at some point to get that corrected and do it sooner rather than later. Do it now, fix it, and get that right. Again, the only other update can provide to you as far as the Larkin thing was maybe they're saying Dallas. We'll see what ends up happening here. We're going to get set to get going here in the second half, and we'll see. But right now, Alec, if I want to give my predictions, you went extra time Norway. I'm going to lean Norway as well. I think we can do this in regulation.
All right, so here we go. We have our first substitutions, two of them for the Free Lions. Donny Badeke and Declan Rice will sub out, and filling in their place is Bukayo Saka on the right wing for Badeke, and Abarechi Eze over midfield replacing Declan Rice. So an Arsenal teammate for another Arsenal teammate.
We will see what we'll get. Again, you probably get more of those within the next 30 minutes or so, prototypical. Again, still you have the change of ends here with the jerseys in red being Norway, England with the jerseys in white. We'll get a throw in. It'll be possession now for the English.
So England in the whites, Norway in the red. Goals in the last 10 minutes of action for both sides. So Norway will move from right to left on a flip pass. And yes, as you said it, John, it'll be an immediate throw-in by the Free Lions as Patrick Berg played it out. 1-1 our score. Andre Chateauroux and Jude Bellingham, the goal scorers. Bellingham and Kane have accounted for 11 of the 12 England goals in this World Cup. Kane has 6, Bellingham has 5. Marcus Rashford has the only other one. Now it's back in the group stage. Moved up through the far side as the Free Lions are in control. On the left, here's the flip over to Anthony Gordon. Gordon one-on-one Ryerson. Gordon cuts towards the middle. Gordon makes a bad miss. And Harry Kane gets tripped. We'll have a free kick.
Yes, you will. Again, toward the left side of the post here, just outside the penalty area. Last one was sailed. It had good power, but it was just above that left post. We'll see if Kane will do it again for a recorrection or who they elect to go to.
Tanner Burge drew that free kick for England as he knocked down Harry Kane right in front. This is one of the most dangerous areas of the pitch, and it comes towards the right side. Orjan Mila's right side of the pitch is Stale Solbakken is comforting his guys over the bench, waiting to get his guys readied up in case if there are any substitutions. So keep an eye out for Antonio Nusa or Oscar Bob if they were to come onto the pitch. There are no slouches here as reserve guys for the Vikings. Eberechi Eze will take this free kick. He does have power with him. But also watch for Harry Kane if he were to send this up. Ezri Konsa is also back deep. So it's Kane and Eze, 9 and 21. So Eze will ready up. So watch out. Eze's going to take it. He has a distance that is blocked up high. This will go behind Mila. What's it going to be? Is it going to be a corner or a goal kick? Goal kick it is.
Goal kick it is. It blocks off of England's own possession on the wall.
That was Anthony Gordon off his back. Not what he expected.
Absolutely not. As we get some battle with possession midfield again, England trying to get all these battles. A little bit of a push and hold here, as it'll be a throw-in for Norway.
Anthony Gordon, who plays at La Liga in Barcelona, he's one of their more valuable pieces alongside Spain's own Lamine Yamal, who we're going to see on Tuesday as he does battle with France, led by Kylian Mbappe, who plays for Real Madrid. So the El Clasico rivalry translates onto the World Cup between Yamal and Mbappe. So the starting lines are being ruled along the bottom of the screen at Fox and Telemundo, whichever feed you're watching. I know, John, you have the Fox feed if I'm correct.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and I have the Telemundo feed for those. I normally watch all the World Cup games in the Spanish feed. Family tradition.
Well, you can do it all, and you say it all, and you have all the accents correct, and it's just a pleasure to work with you. So we'll give you both sides.
Está bueno, está bueno. Andre Scharup with the ball, moving it back onto the defensive line as Norway looks against Xander Berge, number 8 in red. Is watched by Eberechi Eze. He'll move to the left side for Torbjorn Egger. With speed is David Muller-Wolf. Wolf matched up by Saka. It does exit out. It goes beyond the out-of-bounds line, so England's going to throw it in. And Muller-Wolf is in disbelief, knowing that he thought that this should have been kept in.
Yeah, it was a possession battle, Alec, but it bounced off of his right foot. It's the right call.
It is the right call. It just went out, and he was the last touch. So Ezri Konsa is going to inbound it. He is taking the place of Gerald Kwanzaa, who is serving the first of a 2-game match ban because of his red card for a hard tackle on Jesus Gallardo in the second round. Tanner Burge goes back for Orjan Mila in the 50th minute of action, sends this deep, and this is too far. We'll go from goalkeeper to goalkeeper. We rarely see this, but it does happen in footy as Pickford flings it up the far side. Nice play by Jude Bellingham to send this up through the right side, flipping it out himself. And an auspicious pass for Bukayo Saka afterwards. Saka goes back. It's Elliot Anderson, the Manchester City man, to Ezri Konsa. Saka moves towards the middle. Goes back for John Stones. Stones to Konsa. Konsa calling the shots. Goes back for Stones. The only way Kwanzaa is to return is if England wins this match and he returns for either the World Cup final or the third place game. The third place game will be here in Miami Stadium. The World Cup final will be at New York, New Jersey. On the far side, this is centered up by Norway. Nice breakup by the English. This will be Eze moving up the middle. Eze on the counter. Up to Saka. Bukayo Saka. Towards the penalty area. Saka looks. His shot's blocked. He'll be picked up by the Vikings. They'll move it near side, looking for a clear. for Bjorn Hagum to David Muller-Wolf. Norway's going to get set. But off the second half, England's been the quicker team between these two.
Ooh.
I'm assuming you're seeing something here as David Muller-Wolf moves this one up onto the middle with speed. Here comes Patrick Gruber, Xander Berge. Berge towards the right for Alexander Sorloth. Sorloth puts this one in. Jordan Pickford with the stop.
Yes, it was. It was a good pass in toward the back post. Pickford had to make a save on it, and that's going to force a corner here. I didn't like that takeaway of possession Norway had in midfield. They looked for a back pass there when they could have went right to left, and then a couple minutes later they get their corner. It's their first.
As he said it, John, the first quarter all game for the Vikings. We'll look to see if Haaland can get a header goal. This is his sweet spot. We know about Alex Ovechkin and how he can score bullet shots in hockey. Haaland is much of the same thing. This will be taken from the far side by Martin Odegaard. Speaking of Arsenal, they've been all over the place this year in Premier League. That's a nice clear by the English. So Julian Ryerson will get set up, 26 in red. He'll send the cross in, looking for Haaland. Now pluck it up. Hey, Pickford. As we said it, John, Erling Haaland was set up in the box.
I mean, that's what, 7-8 yards away from that? That's a long distance header with a ton of power. If Pickford doesn't get his hands on it, that might have went in the bottom right corner.
And that was a risky move moving in towards that near side post for Haaland, knowing that Pickford was right there in front, and he was ready for another corner about to get set up. So that's, what, 2 quarters in 3 minutes already for Norway.
Yeah, they're starting to add those up. If we get another chance in the box, this one will go just wide. Again, we'll see who ends up getting the appeal, but it doesn't look like it's going to belong to Norway. We'll have to take another look at it. Pickford's a little bit exacerbated. I'm seeing this in the box, and we'll wait to get the whistle and the call. There might have been an offensive interference.
Well, I don't think this was touched by anybody, and we're trying to see, so they're deliberating here. I think that England may end up with possession.
We're gonna get another corner, Alec. It's gonna be Norway.
Stones on his back. Yep, we got the replay. Bounced off at the back of John Stones, despite the police and Jordan Pickford. So that's the third quarter already in a span of 4 minutes for the Norwegians. This time it's Odegaard from the far side after Ryerson took it on the near side. Notice his actions on the corners is starting to exhaust a little bit the English on the defensive side, but Norway is feeling all the action turned up several notches. Odegaard sends it to the box. It's there! Right in front! Goal! From Norway!
Unbelievable stuff. Taborin Hagum, number 17, gets a second rebound, and then it's curled into the top left of the box and in. Again, Haaland, he got a little bit of a push off there. No foul. England is exacerbated. They can't believe that there wasn't a call there. Second rebound, Pickford makes an unbelievable first save. He has no chance of making the second one. What did you think of that push off?
I don't know how you don't call that if you're the referee.
Yes.
Appealing for a missed foul. So at this point, if I'm England, I would want to get the referee's attention here because remember, Egypt had a goal taken off for a missed foul well behind the play, and I would believe here that how in the world do you miss that?
That is a unbelievable miss, in my opinion, Alec. Again, I'll lean to you because you're more of the expert. This is kind of my first game. I did watch a little bit hand in hand at sometimes, but they're going to go to VAR. I think you probably have to call this one back, don't you?
Yeah, you have to, because you cannot miss a foul like that. And yes, this was the case in one of the previous World Cup games in which a go-ahead goal was waved off because of a foul. That was the Germany power play game because the foul was goalkeeper interference. That was a clear push shot from Erling Haaland. You have to take this off.
That was more of a push-off than Reggie Miller against the New York Knicks.
You're going there, aren't you? We
That-
have a decision.
We're going to get the decision now.
So the referee is going to direct everybody's attention. I think he's going to wave this one off. Yep.
Yeah, we're going to retake the corner, Mr. Nava.
Yep. The decision is a foul, and we're going to re-kick. So watch the goal away. Torbjorn Haga may have scored, but they can't get it off because of an offensive foul on Haga. On Haaland, excuse me.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, that is just a clear as day push. Again, at least I feel good as far as being able to make the right call in the first game here with you. But if you don't call that, then obviously you're not going to call anything.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. You have to call it as it is. A foul is a foul is a foul is a foul. As was the case with Jonathan Toss goal that was wiped off for goalkeeper interference. So this will be a free kick, not a corner kick.
Okay.
So they're going to rule this down. Or they're going to call it a corner kick, actually. Okay. Fourth time this has happened.
Yeah, 4 corner kicks in the span of 5 minutes.
Third time was the charm until it wasn't. And Alvaro Odegaard has a chance at redeeming himself to set up a pass to cross towards the front. And we'll see. Will Haaland get himself open? It's going to be Hagam again. Here comes the cross towards the front. It's loose. There's no red shirt over at the near side of the pitch. And as we clear it out, good job by Norway to delay possession here for England. That's going to be an inbound for them. 1-1 our scoreline because of the wiped off goal for Torbjorn Haga because of the Erling Haaland push as Julian Ryerson is hurt.
There's a good slide tackle just before that, and now this is certainly going to add to our stoppage time as we're getting close to the 50th or the 60th minute, I should say, in this 1-1 game. As Alec and I have been able to take you through, it's a trip to the semifinal on the line. We're still waiting to see in the late game who wins in between Argentina and Switzerland. Again, we certainly have our thoughts about it. Between Norway and England, this has been good competitive action here. Again, it's a lot of possession to start. And it looks like we're going to go ahead right into this maybe possibly injury as we're going to go ahead and take somebody off the field here and give you an update.
Seems that we're seeing 14 in red for Norway. Frederick Arsnes, who is one of the midfielders here for Norway, he's warming up in case he were to get onto the pitch. Ryerson's walking off. If he is going to get walked up, I would assume that Marcus Holmgren Peterson will be the first one off for Norway. He is the substitute going in for Ryerson in any case. We've yet to see a name here. Or it's going to be Arsnes who's coming off first.
Smoller Wolf now will get set to throw it in as we'll get back underneath the action.
So, Arsnes 14 in red. David Bowler Wolf, number 5. In red. Norway trying to retake the lead here for real after they had theirs wiped off on an offensive foul. Inside the box, Reggie Eze does a backwards kick. To get this through, here's Jude Bellingham. Had it knocked away. On the chase down, Sorloff. Had it from Odegaard. That was up ahead, intended for Sorloff. The pass a little too far. And it's going to be knocked away by Harry Kane. On the far side, Gordon, who's smushed up. This is Madeke up into the middle. Bellingham had it knocked away from him. And Norway will restart. 1-1 our score. Orjan Nyland, the recipient of this pass. In this tie football game. This goes deep. Intended for Erling Haaland. Knocked away once, but will still end up with the Vikings. On the far side, Sorloff will drop this up. And this will be brought back by the Norwegians, Patrick Berg. We'll send it over to Sander Berge. Berge looks, continues to look. Odegaard over to Arsnes. Martin Odegaard again. Odegaard will head back over to Burge. Xander Burge matched one-on-one with Eberechi Eze as the filling out phase has been over here, but we're getting back to that process as Norway's trying to survey what is the best move against this English team.
Yeah, you said it right, Alec. As far as we're getting here now, Norway starting with possession, looking like England here within the first 25 minutes as they're looking to keep possession of the ball and get to their fill-out process. Again, you had the multitude of corners. You had 4 straight in the span of about 7-8 minutes. Could have got a couple of goals out of that if not for that Haaland push, as you talked about. Norway, you could make the argument, even though England has had possession of the football, they've been the better team so far, and we'll see what they can do of it as they have in midfield.
In the first half, it was mostly England. This second half has been mostly Norway to speak of. And here they are in possession again through the middle. And Odegaard gets forced back onto his opposite position. Now up front, over to Andreas Schotterup. Schotterup onto the far side. He looks towards Sorloth. Alexander Sorloth, excuse me, that's Frederick Arsnes, 14. We'll drop it off for Odegaard. Martin Odegaard, the Arsenal man, and the captain of the Norwegian team will deliver it right side. Sander Burge to Alexander Sorloth, or Frederick Arsnes, once again, it's beginning to. Now this is Sorloth. Who'll drop it off as all the lanes towards the box are closed. As waiting is Odegaard. Odegaard surveys, stops on a dime, and is going to wait some more. Sends the cross over towards the back line. Set a pass. It was too far. It went across the back line, so it'll be a goal kick. It was too far for Sorloth.
Sorloth has been a name that we mentioned a lot. I know the forwards, attacking forwards get mentioned with the chances that they have, but I like the possession that he's been able to bring. I like some of the passes that he's had across. He's had a strong game, in my opinion. And on the other end, Jude Bellingham has been very important. Kane has had his chances. But Sorloth, I thought, has been good for Norway.
Aside from his 2-on-1, this has been one of his better games to speak of, in which he's been generating pretty good chances. I know he wanted to shoot it because he hasn't had a goal yet in this World Cup. You gotta at least shoot it quicker.
That's what you have to do if you get one of those chances next time. And I have to imagine if we do get a 2-on-1 at this portion of the second half, you can bet your bottom dollar, Alec, it's going to be blasted toward goal.
Foul against the Norwegians as Eberechi Eze will start this up. Well, they haven't blown the whistle here to start the play. Jude Bellingham is waiting for a signal, but as time goes on, we think that the pace of play would start to speed up.
Yeah, you would have to think, looking for a long ball, it was a good outlet toward the left side of the field that just goes back across for a goal kick. England had the right idea. They had numbers pushing. Pass was just a little bit threaded too far.
Anthony Gordon just couldn't keep this in. He has good speed, Gordon does. He showcased that with Barcelona, and I can attest to that as a Barcelona fan myself.
It's been a good contest so far as we get possession knocked away to the left side. We have a throw-in now for Norway. We entered the 65th minute. Still a 1-1 game. At this point, it kind of feels like a seesaw affair, Alec. I'm not sure who's going to get the next goal.
We just don't know just yet. No, we could think it may be Norway of how things are trending in the second half. The ball was knocked away by Bukayo Saka, so it will be a Norway throw-in. If you're looking for scoring options, if you're looking for a substitution, do keep an eye out for Antonio Nusa if he were to be subbed in. Long throw-in towards the midfield lines. This will be knocked down by Saka. And no whistle here for foul, but Kane steals it anyway. Kane towards the left is Gordon. Anthony Gordon will speed up. Along the far side, Gordon stops and will serve. He enters the box. Gordon dribbles it down low. Sends a cross towards the front. To Kane. Ran out of real estate to shoot it. And Norway will get this on a clear all the way down. As England chases down the ball, Jordan Pickford says, I got it. Towards the middle to Elliot Anderson, who was chased down and will force it back for John Stones. But Harry Kane, that was well defended by Norway to make sure Kane doesn't get a grade A look.
Yes, it was, Alec. And again, I would say for Jordan Pickford, he had to be a little bit confident, didn't he, coming out of his net? I mean, there was a one-on-one. He just meets it toward the left side, just outside the penalty area to kick it away to midfield. But I thought Pickford had to be pretty quick on his feet, too.
He did, because as the other outcome happened, Steve Dangle would have lost it.
And now we're going to start to see the substitutions get rampant. Normally, I would think about the 70th minute. We're getting close to that. We're ending number 68 here as the substitutions find their way. Looks like Bob's going to find his way in this as we hit the match break for hydration.
In 22 in red, we're also seeing 20 Antonio Nusa for Norway as Alexander Sorloth subs out. So Oscar Bob is going to sub in, and so is Antonio Nusa. I would believe he's going to replace Andre Schotterup. So even when you sub out Schotterup and Sorloth, you got good depth waiting on the wings alongside Erling Haaland to help him out.
I don't want to say this just to be funny, but I'm going to do it anyway because it won't be funny. But the 22-year-old 5'9", 159 Oscar Bob, that's a fantastic name. I want to get him a goal. Let's do it. He gets the game winner.
Oh, that would be sweet. the man from Oslo, the 22-year-old, King Bob!
That's where I'm going right now. Give me that one as we hit into the hydration break. Honestly, I know I said this a few times, Alec, and I hope I don't jump all over it or get annoyed, but I really enjoyed working this game with you. It's been a lot of fun. I think, honestly, for Wednesday, whether or not you're available, I might try to go ahead and jump in on this again, get some more World Cup action before everything expires.
Yeah, perhaps a France versus Spain match would do, because that would be the one that everybody has got the schedule penciled down for. But Norway is theater. No matter how good or bad they play, Norway is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're taking all the possession game for England as we're getting some of the commercial half and highlights. But we talked about it, and toward the back of that first half, they were able to get that counterattack working a little bit. They didn't really mind the possession all that much. The defense, even though England had their possession, wasn't really taxed. They didn't have to bend their shape too much. And then now we're getting that look there for some Haaland pushes and a little bit of physicality. I think there's been a lot of that. Norway's tried to win a lot of those battles. I think they played pretty well, all things considered.
And Norway is matched up to what England has provided in this game. We talked about how England's one of the most elite nations in the international stage. Norway doesn't mind bringing the underdog energy, and it's nice seeing an underdog thrive here, that being Norway. They did beat number 5 Brazil. They're going up against number 4 England. And of course, England's a team many expect to be in contention, even though they haven't won it all since 1966. But nonetheless, when you have a team that has Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, and Anthony Gordon on your disposal, you're expected to compete for it all.
Let me ask you this as we're going to get back into the play-by-play in a minute. Have you ever been to a soccer game?
Only in the college level.
Okay. Again, this might be something we could put on our bucket list. If I work a few more of these games with you, I would probably be enough of a fan at least to go and experience it, because I think it'd be something that you might not ever forget.
Oh, yeah. Perhaps in the future, if there were some MLS games to look at, such as Charlotte FC, in ESK Sporting Kansas City. I know U.S. Soccer League. There's the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Detroit City. The Riverhounds, they didn't get a single goal on the way to the championship and won 3-4 matches on penalty kicks. But that's a gritty story here. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
That's a great name. Again, as the possession counter is going across, it's now 57-35. So Norway, as we said, a little bit of a second half push from them. Pickford's going to be forced to retreat. And England is, they might turn this over in front of their own net. You take it away.
Defensive substitution for the English. They have Reece James as a substitution and for Anthony Gordon. Jordan Pickford has to look out. James calling plays this. They may be in trouble here as they're backed up towards their own goal. Pickford bails them out of trouble. And now here's the push up the middle. Harry Kane doesn't get much out of that as Norway brings this one back. And as the game goes along, Norway's bringing out the fresher legs. And do that as the game goes along. I don't know if you're going to call me crazy for this, but I think the advantage is going to Norway as this game is progressing.
I'm not going to call you crazy. I think as this game has progressed toward late in the first half and now the substitutions, we've hit the 73rd minute as we get more of the Viking row stuff going across. I agree. I like what I'm seeing there. I know it only takes one counter on either end to get a go-ahead goal here, and that would be critical at this point. But from what I'm watching right now, Alec, I don't think we're going to get an 85th or 90-minute spurt of back-to-back goals. I think one of these teams is going to be smart enough that when they get the lead, they're going to keep it, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Here's Christopher Ayer, who plays for Brentford. Now goes back for Orion Nealon, who plays for Sevilla in La Liga. Almost turned over to Saka as Martin Odegaard will want to get the counter set up. Nealon sends this down through the middle, and it's a fight for possession thereon, which will be won by the English. Eberechiesi going back. This is moved over from Reece James to Ezri Konsa. Bukayo Saka. Saka is doubled up, and he'll head back for Bellingham. Quickly, he doubled up towards the box, and that's well over the head of who he intended to. Massive humanity falling down at the English attacking third, and one of the Free Lions players needs some help. Off the far side, here's Oscar Bob. Antonio Nunes calling for it. Bob doesn't fight and decides to go back on a short pass towards the box. No shooting lanes there. And I felt that there should have been a chance there for Patrick Burke to shoot it early. It was upset that no whistle was blown because Barghetti was down behind the play.
You got guys not even yards in front of you. He's breaking across the right wing. He gets inside the box, almost right near the penalty area where the goalie is. He doesn't even shoot the ball. He could have walked in at least trying to ping a corner or something, Alec.
Not ideal for Norway for Patrick Berg, who is the third captain on this team. Is Antonio Nusa off the bench. He's replacing Andrei Shelderroom in this lineup. Up ahead for Oscar Bob, and that's closed away by Barghetti. This will be led back behind for him. Now here's the cross in front for Berg. Chase for redemption is knocked away. Now it's collected up by Nusa. On the foot back for Nusa. 1-on-1. He has some space. And forcing the corner was one of the Free Lions.
5 straight corners now for Norway. And we'll see. Well, this is 4 actually. I'm going to rescind that for me. But Norway is starting to get some advantage here with that possession, as we talked about. They need to convert.
And they have to. So if they get a big flat great place, thanks again for doing the World Cup all any times on the Twitch site, which I'm broadcasting at. Patrick Berg to take the corner as he is getting his hands up, saying, "I got it." So we'll see if Erling Haaland can get a header goal in here, or if Oscar Bob can get the goal that John wanted here. So we have not received the signal yet to kick it off, as there was some pushing and shoving before the kick was to get delivered. So Haaland at the center of it, as has been in the case again. So now we'll get this up one up. Now here it is. On the header through, this gets knocked away. Frederick Larson picks it up. Right on through! Oh, Pickford to take the rebound! Another tight angle shot, and it goes wide! Holy!
So Osmus throws this one on. It gets headered. It goes off the top of the crossbar and then goes back in play, and England able to head it away. I'm sure Norway now is trying to think of a foul. They're not going to get one. It's going to be possession now for the Three Lions.
Yeah, in the penalty area as well, they want to get get a penalty kick here, nothing was doing. And for Norway, as England, they get the defensive clear right out of this, and they can breathe here. But for how much longer? They have been struggling with possession this second half. And no foul. I thought there was one. Good, no call. Along the far side on the switch from Nico O'Reilly. This time will be an inbound from O'Reilly. Sent over to John Stones. Stones over to Reece James, who's slowly up and then towards the right for Stones as he'll take his time with the ball. So England wanting to break this deadlock. It is a 1-1 score. Norway had the opening goal from Andre Soderud. It's equalized by Jude Bellingham with his 5th of the tournament. Now it is Eze who sent it along towards the middle. To Stones. John Stones. To Bukayo Saka. Saka. He's going to look as he's doubled up. Saka wanted to go towards the box. That's why he covered up. On this foul there, I would think. No call. They'll let the play on. They said marginal contact on that shove. But England with the possession here. And they're just taking their time with this. Wanting to send guys towards the box. You think Harry Kane. Here comes Kane to the box. That's nicely played away by Hagam. And Reece James will restart. Elliot Anderson to Reggie Eze. He's going to roll and spin. Stones to Saka. Bukayo Saka. He's going to look again. Everybody set up in the box. And some of the guys there are wondering, why is the delays here? Pass the ball. Pass the ball to somebody. Here comes the pass of Saka towards the box. Oh, that went wide very dangerously.
Anderson making a run for Saka's off the left foot into the left post that just goes just wide past Oren Nyland.
On his left foot. He made a run for it, but it just went by him, ran out of real estate to even get a shot away. And we're wondering, that wasn't even a good angle for Anderson to get this one through either.
No, he had nowhere to go, Alec. He had nowhere to run, nothing near the back post. He tried to make a piece of it, but the ball wasn't there.
And it wasn't for Norway on that crossbar hit. And what they thought it was a save for Pickford, but it wasn't. Here's Sanderberg. They'll keep it along the right side. As Norway continues to cycle. Martin Odegaard, number 10 in red. Thought about the pass. Instead, he'll go back to his own zone. Sanderberg. For Bjorn Hagam. Hagam advances along with the ball. Hagam towards David Muller-Wolf. Matchup 1-on-1. Along the near side by Saka. He'll go back for Berge. Norway trying to get the right fit in action. Haaland's offside. If he were to get a touch on this ball, he has to get back on side as he's in the box. As Norway continues to look. Tanner Birch along the right side for, I think that's Oscar Bob, and now here's Birch again. Bob from the right wing says this one off for Patrick Berg. Back for Sander Birch. Bob continues to look. Here is Bob, the youngster for this Norwegian team. He's going to survey once more. Norway doing a good job keeping this ball to the right wing side, but England not allowing anything to open up onto the box. Now they'll try the other side of Nusa. Antonio Nusa, number 20. Nusa surveys. Nusa with the cross towards the far side. Well defended by the English. And it's a roll towards the sideline for throw-in.
Yeah, Nico O'Reilly with a good header one there because you had two Norway players wide open across that far side right wing. And that was a much-needed defend there. It got it done cleanly.
We're at 9.5 minutes left in this second half before stoppage time approaches. Norway thought they had the lead 2-1 before it was waved off for a foul. Bjorn Hagam steps up. Hagam lost the ball. Norway's calling for a foul. The referees say marginal contact. Nusa over to Sander Berge as he'll move this one back over to Frederick Arsnes. Oscar Bob on the other way. Bob, 1-on-1 with Bukayo Saka. Bob with two starters. That's a first starter step. And his cross was headed away. A fight for the loose ball won by Bellingham. Saka can't get this one out. It comes to Norway. Patrick Berg. And he was is going to get an offside call against Norway. We'll play on here. Norway works it all the way out. David Bowler-Wolf on the right side. Martin Odegaard continues to survey. 1.5 minutes left. Sander Berge starts up the opposite way of Nusa. Antonio Nusa looks. Nusa continues to follow along. Nusa's cross. One off Saka. It's going to be a corner.
Berg going to set it up this time officially. It is the 5th corner. 5 straight for Norway here inside the 82nd minute to see if they can find a way to get a late go ahead.
And we're looking at that man, Erling Haaland, who is tying his hair with his man bun or sort of a man ponytail, whatever you want to call it. But nonetheless, that Norwegian flow looks good.
Norway going to start with possession here as it gets knocked away from Harry Kane.
8 minutes left before we get to stoppage time, as we'll get the corner kick from the near side. 5th straight for the Vikings, as Patrick Berg is going to take it near corner. Over the middle, and this will be settled down by Berg again. We'll move up for Martin Odegaard. Odegaard surveying. He does have a man open behind him, and then he'll focus up towards the box. And that missed everybody. So England's going to send this down. Jordan Pickford leading the charge. But that was not well played by Norway on this return pass from Odegaard. So they're back on defense. There's a foot brace. It just juggled up. And Norway playing keep away from Bukayo Saka. David Bowler-Wolf almost had those one out of bounds. Torbjorn Hagen saved it though. Orjan Niva will pick it up. So where does Norway go from here with 7 minutes left before we hit stoppage time?
Yeah, that is the golden question. That was beautiful possession there, one-on-one off the jockey. Throw in now, won by England. But again, as I've talked about, it's the 6th time we've seen bodies fall down across midfield. England appealing for a foul. They're not going to give one.
Jet Spence is warming up for England in case he were to get onto the pitch for a substitution. So England's actually down 2 players. Jerome Kwanzaa to a red card. Jordan Henderson. Should England make it to either the final or the 3rd place game, he's a long shot to play. And he'll do his overcast. And here comes Antonio Nusa. Nusa waits. Cuts towards the middle. Marginal contact, but Norway keeps him with the ball. We'll send back over to David Muller-Wolf. Wolf from way out. He'll go back over to Sander Berge. Now this is going to go for Martin Odegaard. Nusa ran out real estate to shoot it. Now it's going to go the other way for Bob. Oscar Bob will have the ball as he takes it inside the box. Bob, 1-on-2 as he goes back with the ball, seeing no openings. Sander Berge. Now on for Nusa. The box is open now. Nusa fires, save, Pickford!
Nusa made a good move off the one-on-one, Alec. He just didn't get enough power on it. Got it toward Pickford, but he made a good save.
You got to get some more power onto it and look for a top corner
to
make it harder for Pickford to make the stop. Now England under Thomas Tuchel want to avoid another elimination in the quarterfinals in this World Cup, as they suffered against France in the last World Cup in Qatar. The next World Cup is going to be hosted at Spain, Portugal, and Morocco, and the one after that at Saudi Arabia. Those are the next 2 hosts for the upcoming World Cups, as England with possession. As we concept over to John Stones. So England, we know that, of course, the main question lies with Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham. But there's someone that has to step up outside those 2. You think on the lines of Bukayo Saka, and you think Eberechi Eze off the bench as Jet Spence comes in to replace Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah, you're right. And again, we got that substitution noted, but Saka has been very noticeable here in this second half. I'd have to agree with you. That's probably somewhere where I would lean. Again, if we don't get any goals here in this second half, we get set for 2 15-minute halves here and for the extra time. And Alec, that's initially what he called, and that might be what we get if we don't get a golden goal.
Yeah, there are no golden goal rules anymore in the World Cup. Those were abolished in after the 2002 edition. it went back to the traditional extra time rules in the 2006 World Cup. And yesterday marked the 20th anniversary of the very eventful 2006 World Cup final. Saw the final send-off of Zinedine Zidane and his headbutt on Marco Materazzi, who scored for Italy before the penalty shootout. Andrea Pirlo was the best player on Italy that match. And Gianluigi Buffon, his goalkeeping was so spectacular. Along the near side, here's Saka as he is double teamed up. As Norway doesn't want any pass towards the box. Saka looks down low. Now he enters down inside. Saka! Nice clear! It will force a corner nonetheless. How in the world did England not get a goal out of that?
That was a great move toward the right side of the box. We'll get a replay on it now. He gets past one man, throws the cross in. Nobody there. Edza can't get there in time. No worries there to try to make a save off of a wonderful clear, but that's a great move for Saka. It's criminal that didn't get finished.
Oh, man. That was one of the most beautiful sets
Yeah.
English all half long as he went by Antonio Nusa. And closed up on time was Eza, as Frederick Arsnes got the clear to not have a corner.
It's been 5 straight for Norway. Now England gets one inside the 88th minute. What a time this is in a tie game.
And it's Eberechi Eze who replaces Declan Rice in the line. So you sub up one man from Arsenal for another man from Arsenal. Eze, just like in Arsenal, is getting used off the bench for the English team. And with 2 minutes to go, Losi and the Free Lions can get on the board here late. And who is it going to come by? In the box. Bad clearing attempt. And there was an offensive foul.
Yes, there was. You got a camera shot there. Harry Kane probably said, hey, I got pushed a couple times in the second half. You don't call anything there. And now it looks like Endre Konsa are going to come off the field here in terms of their substitution. Morgan Rogers will get set to take over.
17 in white for the Free Lions. As the Vikings have used up most of their substitutions. The last one's on Oscar Bob and Antonio Nusa. 1-1 score. We have not seen any scoring since the Jude Bellingham goal in the first half of stoppage time of the first half. So Norway is used up 4 to 5 substitutions. England has used up all 5 of their substitutions in the regulation frame. Now, in extra time, you do get an extra substitution. Now, Norway's going to use their final substitution on David Muller-Wolf. Marcus Holmgren Peterson is going to come in his place.
I love those names. That really reminds me of hockey names. We just don't have the dashes in between.
Well, yeah. Now, do know a fun fact. Emil Lilleberg's actual name is Emil Martinson Lilleberg, but he prefers to be called Emil Lilleberg for that matter. If we're talking about the Norwegians.
I love those tie-ins, Alec. Again, you make me feel comfortable.
Here's Oscar Bob, who will give it up for one of his teammates, Frederick Arsnes, with 20 seconds left for Sander Berge. Berge is surveying along the middle third and will deliver to the right for Odegaard. 10 seconds left before we hit stoppage time. Oscar Bob slides one up through for Erling Haaland, and he's denied by Pickford. This will come back outside the box. Norway will keep. Not for long though as Eze moves it up front. Jude Bellingham on a long foot. This is not going to make it for Jet Spence. And Christopher Ayer will move back for Orjan Nieuwen. 7 minutes of time. Look out! Oh my goodness! Jet Spence was waiting there right in front of Orjan Nieuwen. How was that not a goal?
What was Nealon doing? Jet Spence was breathing right down his mouth. If he didn't get a chance to get there, maybe a second later, anyone could have won this game outright.
Oh, we would be making Steve Dangle to say the line if that was a bad turnover to let you go for Jet Spence. Oh, I don't even need to say. It's just ingrained into goalkeepers' minds if they make that type of a mess up. Spence now in trouble. He is held down by Oscar Bob. Nothing comes out of that as the English He'll keep this in, but this will be settled down now. Eze is tripped up, and that'll keep possession for the English on this foul on Patrick Berg.
It's been 5 shots on target to 10 in terms of Norway. Just the 1 shot on target to 6 for England, but we're in a tie game. We're in the stoppage time now in the 92nd minute. We got 7 extra minutes here of this half.
Jordan Pickford has silenced his critics in this game. And while he may have lost focus at times in the Mexico game, he's easily the best option that the English have in goal. That he's loyal to whoever he plays for, Everton or the English team, and he'll do anything to win a championship. Even for past reputations of English goalkeepers, that it's been the best that we've seen of Pickford in recent years, even at 32 years old.
You're going to have to watch out here. You got something out in front of you, but it seems like Norway starting to have some problems defending in their back line. Some of those substitutions and front legs for England are making some problems here.
And they are. Torbjorn Hagum is getting pressured a lot, and Morgan Rogers forced him into a lot of trouble. Hagum is down. He is laboring his left foot.
Yes, he is. He's looking over across at the referee. We'll see if we get anything. I don't see anything fitted for a card. But as I just said alongside with Alec, that pressure is starting to go up against Norway here. You don't want to concede anything late in terms of possession, because this next goal at this point, again, I don't have to tell you here, inside this 94th minute, that's going to be the killer.
And because both teams have used up their substitutions, in case of an injury here, they cannot use it at this current moment. The only way a substitution happens is if it falls under FIFA's concussion protocol.
Okay, so that would certainly mean if there's any sort of injury outside of that, both of these teams are just going to have to try to battle through it then.
Yeah, so the only time in which Norway at this moment can get all 11 players on the pitch is after a whistle on the next possession. So Hagen's going to sit out of this possession before re-entering the pitch here. And for the next possession, the medical staff is looking at his foot. He is trying to warm up to get back up to game pace. So far, things seem to be all right. He's on his feet. He is stretching. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it is. You see that now toward the left side of the line. He's still getting attended to a little bit. England going to get set here with James as far as their throw-in.
And he's walking under his own power. Always good to see. That could have been worse from Morgan Rogers. And if it was worse, that could have easily been a red. And they're looking at Hagem still as Reece James inbounds it. Hagen's going to wait for the next whistle. Here is James over to Bukayo Saka. His Arsenal teammate Ebriki Eze is positioned over towards the middle of the pitch. Here is Jed Spence. Spence towards the left side. Eze, one-on-one with Marcus Holmgren Peterson. Eze, with some stutter steps, lost possession, but he is helped out by Jude Bellingham. Over back to Ezri Konsa, over to John Stones. Stones, over to James. Reece James back for Stones. Stones towards the box, his header from Bellingham, not a lot of power with it as it goes wide. And now Hagem's going to re-enter the pitch if he hasn't been cleared already.
Yeah, if not, as Alec mentioned, until you get to the extra time after this, if we don't get a goal here, then you get your one substitution back. But that was a cross that went wanting, and now we'll see what ends up happening here. If we're going to get more than the final 7 minutes of stoppage time, because there's been a little bit of little injuries and pushing around, and it might get a little bit extended before the referee blows the whistle.
The England had the upper hand in the later stages
Yes.
of the second half, and we'll see how they can translate that to a goal here. They did that in the later stages of the first half. Foul against Ebriki Eze as he wanted to hunt down the ball. Loose ball fouls, we call it, in hoops.
So again, it's important here for Norway to keep this possession, be able to move forward, keep it going here, because as it is, they could probably have the last two before the second half before we will get to that extra time and through regulation, all things considered, as we go for a long pass to the keeper, and this then will belong to England.
Orion Nealon will move it up near side for Sander Burge. As Burge is going to survey, and Nealon will survey once again as England's hunting it down. This deep pass wanted to go for Nusa. Instead, this will be picked up by Reece James. James protects the ball from Nusa to get the inbound towards the middle of the pitch. Less than 30 seconds to go in stoppage time. This is moved up for Bukayo Saka. This exits out off of Saka, so Norway will inbound this in. Let's see if Norway will play out the rest of regulation, or if they're going to get a last-second goal before we get extra time, all level at 1, to be inbounded by Orsnes. As this will move back. Whoa, look out there! That's a Vignati up front. The referee is going to blow the play dead. Are we going to get a free kick in the dying moments of the second half? Don't tell me.
Yeah, we'll have to see, Alec. I'll have to reset my feed here. But again, that back line is really getting pressured on Norway. They're having trouble.
Yep, they are. Norway's having trouble at their own end. Torbjorn Eggen just had to get out of the way of Jude Bellingham. I think Bellingham might have sold that contact. I didn't see a lot of that to be called a foul.
No, I agree with you a little bit. Again, trying to get anything he can to get a call in the late minute.
Because you know how soccer players are sometimes.
Sometimes you get that reputation, but at this point, when both teams have played as hard as they have, it makes sense. I'm just going to reset here really quickly, and then we'll get going again. You take it away.
Orion Nealon will send this up. We're about the 7 minutes of stop logged here. Constructed. So I believe we'll get this goal kick. As this will be headed towards the direction of Oscar Bob is batted away by Jet Spence. This will be Norway on the inbound. This will be taken in from the far side. So they're wasting precious seconds here. Here's a throw towards the box. It's knocked away by Jet Spence and settled down by the English. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to extra time here.
Thank you for picking me up over the last couple of minutes, because again, as we were getting to the extra time, that's when everything cuts over, because it goes to the next portion of the program, which would be the post game. But we're not there yet, so I'm good to go here in this next set. So, Alec, how does this work? Do we get a little bit of a break here, or do we just jump right into the extra time?
No, we get a little bit of a break before jumping into extra time.
I'm going to go ahead and probably jump out for a couple minutes and get myself hydrated, but I will be right back. Just give me a couple minutes.
No worries. Just to give it a reset about what has happened here throughout this game, it is 1-1 here between Norway and England. All goals from both sides. Andre Sharp in the 36th minute. Jude Bellingham in the 2nd minute of the first half stoppage time. So that's the goal scoring. Torbjorn Hagen would have had a goal had it not been for Erling Haaland foul. So the team stats expected goals are .52 Norway, .31 England, with England having 58% of possession. Shots on goal are 4 for the Norwegians, 2 for the English. Each team had 1 big chance created. Accurate passes 327 for Norway, 481 for England. And it's just 37-32 in favor of England on duels 1. Jordan Pickford 3 saves. Orion Nealon with 1 save. No yellow cards have been assessed in this game, remarkably so. In regards to discipline, no yellow cards. And that there has been one of the storylines to think of, that there are no yellow cards assessed. Winner of this game faces the winner of Argentina and Switzerland, which is the 9 o'clock slate later today. That game is going to take place over at Kansas City Stadium. So that's over around where Ian is at. Well, another 30 minutes away, so we'll get 15 each. No hydration breaks in the extra time. That's in between the extra time halves. So we'll see. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes up. So we're about to get underway soon enough. World Cup trophy replicas all over the stands. So glad to have you here, John, in your first action of the World Cup.
Yeah, I hope that I'm not jumping all over you, Alec. I feel like this has been a good broadcast on both sides. I know you've had to take the lead. I think when I get enough practice here after a couple games, I'll probably try to jump into the play-by-play. It won't be as good, but we'll try to work our way across the practice. But I really appreciate you having me on. This game has been a lot of fun. Honestly, I think you called it right. You had the first 25 minutes or so, good possession there for England, filling out process. Couple of goals, as you talked about, from the first half. That's still where we stayed in after the end of regulation here. Norway, in the next probably 15 or 20 of the second half, as you mentioned, I thought they had the better portion of possession, pushed up a little bit. But I noticed that back line of Norway really started to get a little bit gassed toward the end of it. And as this game goes along, we've had the feels like temperature of well over 100. Whether or not England has the fresher legs in terms of their top end talent because again it's what fourth in the FIFA rankings in comparison to like 31 or 39 or something like that for Norway. So I think as this game continues to move along, I would have to say then advantage for England.
Yeah, that's what we'll think here. As England, they had the advantage later down on this game. We thought it would be advantage Norway of how they were playing for the first 35 minutes of the second half. But we're getting the extra time coin tosses. Seeing Martin Odegaard roll up his shorts. That's how hot it is outside.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You feel like you guys are in a full sweat within the first couple of minutes already out there. You know, you pace yourself, you run for miles. Physical fitness is the utmost important. Again, I got Oscar Bob for Norway. I'm going to go ahead and give you a name alongside for England. I'm going to go with, let me give me Morgan Rogers for England. I'm going to say no penalty kicks. I'll give you goal winners on both sides.
Yeah, so if we're speaking of heroes here in extra time, I'll give my picks. I'll give my picks for who could be a hero here in extra time. I'll go ahead and with Antonio Nusa for Norway, and for England, I'm writing with someone that's not Harry Kane or Jude Bellingham. I'm gonna go with Bukayo Saka.
Saka already probably should have had one in that second half. I agree with you. I think that's probably the one. I think he's going to do it.
We do have the substitution as Norway is using a substitution on defense. Torbjorn Hagem is coming out. Leo Ostegard is taking his place. And that may be because of the injury that Hagem suffered late in the second half. As we're getting closer towards the kickoff of the first half of extra time.
Yeah, that was a good call by you, considering you get the extra one, as you mentioned, you get in the extra time. I don't think he could go. It was a good challenge on the back end line, but probably messed up that leg a little bit. Plus, it's late. Use your substitution, use it wisely, and see what happens now. Again, the first time for me looking at this alongside with you, when we get into extras, we might even get into a penalty shootout. I'm excited for this.
So we'll have to get reset up because of a false start on the kickoff, and here we go. As here we are here, as Jordan Pickford will get the long kick. No, he opts for a short kick this time. Sometimes he would go for the long kick to begin the half. This time he goes short. Wanted to go with the wiser move rather than the aggressive move, as England wanted to control the action. Reece James, 24 in white. He'll move it back towards the midfield. And towards the right back, John Stones, right center back, that is. Ezri Konsa is hurried up towards the left side for Jet Spence. Spence almost had it knocked away from Eze. Eze holds up Oscar Bob, keeps with it, and will send it for Saka. Bukayo Saka off his chest, dribbling this one down opposite Marcus Holmgren Peterson. Long foot toward the box. Going to get much real estate there, as England couldn't get a shot away. And now they have possession again. We're past the first minute of the first half extra time. Now they can reset the operation as James goes to Saka. Bukayo Saka going downhill on Marcus Holmgren Peterson. He is held up. And deliberation corner.
Yeah, he was forced into a precarious position where all he could do there was give up a corner. Again, you got two 15-minute halves here. No matter what, England's got a chance to get on the front foot.
A chance to take the lead here early in extra time. You remember, there's no golden goal rules here in extra time. There's only two 15-minute halves here. So one go to 1/5 minute, another to the 1/20th. Saka to take it from the far side. Again, set up his Bellingham up front. Here it comes towards the box. It has knocked away. Saka will get it back. Does he look back or does he look down low? He'll look across here. Here's Harry Kane up front. Save, Dylan. This rolls towards the line and Saka will restart. Reece James. Orion Nealon with just his second save of this game, and it comes in extra time. Saka again. This one too far. This will be settled down now by Everett Chiesi. He was looking all the way across for Mark Gay. Morgan Rogers, a long shot, another save by Nealon. No rebound, score! Goal! Jude Bellingham!
Man, I got to feel pretty good, Alec. It's a great call by you. I said Rogers with the goal. I guess it counts as a primary assist. It's a cracker of a shot just outside the box. No chance to pick up a rebound unless you're Bellingham. Nyland has nothing here that he could do. What a beautiful shot. We're going to take a look at it now. As this is directly out front, just outside the box. He lets it go. Bellingham beats everybody there. No chance for Nyland. And England takes the lead early in extra time.
Won the score, and Norway was upset about the goal taking off of them, but that was the foul that had to be called.
Yeah.
Bellingham was in front of the last defenseman, so that is onside. Bellingham stayed with everything, and he put it away for his sixth goal of this tournament. And all of a sudden, he's now entered the Golden Boot race.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic game alongside the last couple. And then when it's the most important, you find a way again in extra time. And now in the 93rd minute, again after regulation, his sixth goal is second today, and England's needed them all.
2-1 the score, and Norway looking for the equalizer. And yes, I did say 2-2. Norway wins on penalties. Well, I'm hoping that happens.
Right? I mean, you've been on it all day as far as this call. There's been enough excitement here, and now we know that Norway is going to have to press. So you might get your wish. I think we're going to be in for an explosive finish either way because Norway's got to go.
They have to. They need to recognize the stakes here. They have just about 25 minutes to work with to tie this game up or to even win it here in extra time. Argentina won in extra time against Cape Verde. Martin Odegaard, all the way across, towards the left winger, Antonio Nusa. Nusa, who's doubled up, decides to go back. That went off a leg of one of the English. And it's going to be recollected by Sander Berge. Berge will start up with the ball. An early substitution because of the injury to Bjorn Hagem, which Leo Ostergaard takes his place. Towards the near side, here's Bob. Shake and big pass has him. He wanted to go for Frederick Arsness. Can't do so much. We haven't seen Erling Haaland get the ball that much, but he hasn't had to dribble the ball a lot. Plays that Alex Ovechkin role to perfection. Norway takes it away, and one of the English players went down without a touch. He gets back up. That looked to be Jude Bellingham, who went down without a touch. Now it's Pickford, the man in yellow, who sent this deep towards the far side. Lifted away. That's to prevent who I think was Reece James from getting a touch. And some guys are waving a Jude Bellingham Real Madrid jersey up. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, they're really into this now. Again, it's been explosive here for England, finally getting something to start the beginning of extra time. And don't forget, we got Argentina and Switzerland. Again, winner of that's going to end up playing winner of this in the semifinals. So more action out in front of you, but we'll see now if England can hold.
And we'll see if Norway can tie this game up or force a penalty shootout. It's 2-1 England, as Martin Odegaard is in control, one of the better midfielders in the Premier League. I can only say, we speak of midfielders among the elite class of midfielders. He's arguably the best player in the Bundesliga in Germany. He plays for the French national team, and the fact that France has him as a huge upgrade on the midfield after the international retirement of Antoine Griezmann. Towards the middle here, Sander Berge. Matched up well, 1-on-1 by Jude Bellingham, the attacking midfielder for Real Madrid. Sander Berge now. Towards the right side for Odegaard, the captain and the vocal presence of the Norwegian team. We're not seeing Haaland that much, as England's doing a good job taking off of Norway's plans. Now it's Orjan Nieland who will send it up towards the left for Ostergaard. Leo Ostergaard towards the right for Sander Berge. Over to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard with Berge and Christopher Ayers switching spots. I haven't said Ayers' name a lot, but here's Odegaard, who's trapped by three Englishmen. Berge will free it up for Ostergaard. Leo Ostergaard for Marcus Holtman-Peterson. Towards the middle. It will be delivered back. Norway looking for that perfect lane after Bellingham scored in the 93rd minute of action. Moving up as Frederick Barsness. He is way offside, and Norway has to wait as Everett Eze moves this one up towards the middle. And here's a foot race. Jude Bellingham on hat-trick watch. Ayers says no. It's a good foot race, though, from Bellingham to track this ball down in case we want to win this one for England. And, of course, he's on hat-trick watch now. Do keep an eye out as we speak of the Golden Boot. We haven't seen Kane or Haaland find the back of the net, but they haven't had to find the back of the net. It's been the Jude Bellingham show, and England supporting cast around Haaland has picked up the slack.
Are you kidding me, Alec? I'll get to see something I've never seen before as far as calling with you. You're going to have this out in front. We're going to get some more excitement.
Oh, he gets tripped. Penalty coming.
Oh.
It's going to be a penalty kick.
Well, you talked about it. You got to give it to Bellingham, right? You want a chance to get a hat trick. He could certainly ice it right now.
Well, we'll see here. Norway's trying to plead their case as Jed Spence is driving down deep and low. England won their first championship since 1966, and they want to be one step closer to it. But what was Oscar Bob doing down low, clipping Jed Spence and tripping him up?
Yeah, too much hold, too much trip inside the right side of the foot. They're going to go to VAR to make sure, but I think that's probably the right call. I get a little too handsy.
You don't want to get too handsy, and do remember that they're going to confirm if this is a penalty. Do remember, in the France-Paraguay game, they took a while reviewing if there was a penalty on Paraguay to allow for Kylian Mbappe to get a penalty kick. It took 3 minutes, and Mbappe was just waiting at the box. But I believe I would want to see Bellingham get a hat trick here. You got to give it to him.
I agree, because Harry Kane, from the first half, he had a shot from just outside the box on a foul that got airmailed. You already got two. Bellingham's been the guy. And we could say this honestly for Jed Spence, since he's come back on for about the 75th minute or so, he's already had a pressure alongside Nyland. He had a good pressure alongside the defense that forced a substitution, and then now possibly drawing a penalty. He's been really good since stepping onto the pitch.
Oh yeah, people were questioning his selection about whether or not passing up on Cole Palmer was a mistake. Now, that's no dissing towards Cole Palmer because he's talented in his own right. But you want to get more speed Jet Spence is your guy.
Yeah, and we're going to get it now, Alec. No foul, no penalty kick.
Wow. Wow, John. No foul.
I didn't disagree with you, Alec. I thought Bob was when you mean to make sure that you don't trip anything with the foot. You get a little push off with the hand. I think you've probably watched more than I have. That you've seen enough where sometimes that those are called. Norway dodges a bullet.
They did dodge a bullet big time. So instead of a penalty kick, it is going to be a goal kick for Erling Haaland. And in the referee's eyes, did they see that there was just Spence trying to sell it, or I think that might have been a questionable call there. I thought it was a penalty kick.
It could have been. I don't disagree with you, Alec. I think you could have went either way there.
It is 50-50. It is out of bounds. It'll be England controlling. John Stones gets it deep. It'll be fun for possession. And this will be won by Norway. Towards the middle, this is Antonio Nusa. Oh, delivered far side for Frederick Marston. With less than 3 minutes to go here in the first half of extra time. Sander Berge. Arsenal calling for the ball. And this will be left up towards the left line for Nusa. 101 delivering down towards the box. There's nothing there. England's doing a good job taking Haaland off the game plan for Norway. And to be moved up for Oscar Bob. Bob delivered it up front for Odegaard. Martin Odegaard, matchup by Morgan Rogers. Odegaard will head back over to Arsnes. Arsnes. Christopher Ayers. I haven't got to say his name much. Soon we moved along for Bob. Oscar Bob. Moving it towards the top of the side. Here's goes the shot. Blocked in front. And this will roll for a goal kick for Kane with a sacrificial block on Antonio Nusa.
That one,
Nusa did everything right.
Yes, he did. That one hit him right in the ribs. The only thing I would say for Nusa, probably took him a little bit too long that he wanted to set it across his left foot. Sets up another corner, though. It's Norway's 6th.
After England at the low corner, at the back half of the second half, there's a chance for Norway to tie the game up with this corner kick. We'll see if they can convert it here. With less than 1.5 minutes to go here in the first half of extra time, we imagine a stoppage time is going to get put on here because of the VAR review on the Jet Spence foul. This is moved up, and this is cleared out by England. Good defense as they block number 8. Way out. Well, it's not Erling Haaland. This will be moved up towards the middle for Arsnes. 1 minute left. Ostergaard towards the left. Marcus Holmgren Peterson. Walking the line now. Brought back towards the middle of the pitch. Over to Arsnes. Dribbled it off himself. Wants to move it up near side for Nusa, who switches sides. Nusa goes back for Odegaard. Now this will be towards the right. Arsnes setting up. Frederick Arsnes setting up the cross in front. There was nobody home. Wanted to find Erling Haaland, but he was not there. Jordan Pickford with the stop with the pass.
There's a cross Sinclair that goes right to him. Would have been too easy there.
Too easy for Jordan Pickford. Thomas Tuchel calling for a foul. He's the manager of England, and he thought that there should have been a foul against Norway. When uncalled by the referees, we'll see if the referees put up stoppage time here in the first half of extra time because of that VAR review. We will have 3 minutes at a minimum of stoppage time, and this is Frederick Arsnes going one-on-one with Everett Eze. And Arsnes stay with the ball, and this will be moved back wide to Jordan Pickford. Elliot Anderson calmly playing this over to Mark Getty, over towards the middle. And Jet Spence waits and shifts back. Getty towards the left center back Stones. Now opposite side for Reece James. Stones and Ezri Konsa, the 2 center backs. As we're waiting for a response from Norway. If this result holds, England advances. Near side it goes for Jet Spence. He's going to turn on the afterburners and leave behind for Eze. Norway blocks it up, it's up in the air. And a backwards kick delivered back to one of the English. Those at the middle third now. Morgan Rogers. Up through and Jude Bellingham. Rogers. Elliot Anderson. Will flip it on the way to the far side. For Bukayo Saka. Saka. Will drop this one back. As England looks to get set up once more. They lead this game 2-1. They go ahead, goal thanks to Jude Bellingham, who's got a brace here tonight. And he's entered himself into the golden boot race. This will be Orion Ewan in control because of the stop. Oh, this game cannot get any more dramatic as Norway, they need to pick up the pace here at some point because they cannot get trapped in their own end. And once again, they give it away. They're just not helping themselves.
No, they're not. And again, it's a pretty interesting play that you're going to get just after that I'll jump in. But you don't want to give England possession. They already have the lead here. That's just what they want to do is bleed the clock out.
Yeah, more position where England means more clock being bled out, even for Jude Bellingham missing that shot above the crossbar.
I was going to say that shot there for Bellingham, actually the pass across went to the referee's legs as well, and then it got shot wide.
You don't want to give England any space because that's what they want.
That's what they're looking for right now, Alec. Again, it's just possession for them, and they wait for the whistle. I think we're going to get it here. We got it at 108.05, so we're going to get set here for this next set of 15. England gets what they want for Bellingham. They get the goal. Now, as we said, Norway is going to have to push, but that last half of that extra in the first was too much possession for England. What can they find here, Norway? That's the golden question.
Yes, so as the halftime whistle sounds, so a lot of discussion for what Stale Solbakken has to do. Thomas Tuchel has adjusted his game plan tactics to near perfection for the English. And people are wondering whether or not this roster selection choices were correct, but he's found his guys.
Yeah, I think they have been. Again, you look at it, I know England more of a powerhouse in comparison to other nations, but you got both Kane and Bellingham with 6. You got two guys in terms of the golden boot race. You got good possession. I thought for the most part, some excellent work in midfield. Yeah, both teams have had some scares in their own end at times, trying to throw it back to the keeper and almost turning it over. But the way that England's able to keep possession of the football is the most important part of it to me. Find a way to get their attacks at some point and force Norway to make some mistakes. And again, really, it really wasn't their fault in terms of that Morgan Rogers long shot. Bellingham just able to get there first. Finally get a chance on the outside where a shot is taken, and it was helped to be converted for an all-important goal. I do think England at this point will find a way to hold on to it, but what do I know? It's my first game. You're the one talking about Norway as far as getting the penalties, but you think the way that England's played their possession game, you got the lead. You got to be smart now. Make sure for me, if you're going to turn it over in midfield. Don't be so cute there with your goalkeeper and these passes back. You got away with it from some of the first and the second half. You can't afford to get away with it now in the second half of extra time.
No, you can't. Especially in this moment where about 15 minutes left and you already used up your substitution because one of your defenders is injured. And that's Torbjorn Hegem. He had to fill in there with Leo Ostergaard. Season on the line, a World Cup on the line, a spot in the semifinals to continue this miracle run.
Yes, it is. It looks like we're going to get another substitution here. Haaland's actually going to come off. So he will not be the representative. Strand Larson will come in and take his place, number 11.
Jorgen Strand Larson, who's going to substitute in for Erling Haaland. That's a shock. That's how in the world. I'm surprised here.
Do you think maybe just for the fresh legs, because as you said, Haaland's not the possession guy, He's more of the header guy. You would think Larson maybe kind of use some of that foot speed and burn whatever he's got left, is the guess.
Perhaps Larson is the speed guy. You want to get more speed here down the lane.
So we will watch that. Yeah, we will watch that, Alec. Again, that is a shock to me as much as to you in the mix of it. But 6'4", 172, Jurgen Strand Larson, the 26-year-old, has a chance to become a hero here, at least tie the game. That's what you would hope for there. Burn whatever energy you got left as we get set for the second half of extra time. England's got a 2-1 lead. I couldn't ask for anything more alongside you in my first ever game. We'll see if England's got enough to take it home. They already got the lead.
Yeah, they do. They're up 2-1 thanks to Jude Bellingham as we're getting set for the second half of extra time. And this is as big of a shock as it is to anyone. Even Twitter can't believe it that Haaland is getting subbed up for Jurgen Strand Larson. You're wanting to get more speed onto the mix. As Haaland is more of the header guy, the net front guy. I just can't believe it. And, well, as we are underway here for half number 2 of extra time, we're getting set here. Well, this is a hard watch if you're a Norway fan because of Haaland being subbed off. And even for some of the Caniacs who saw Haaland and got to meet him in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. And this year, as we're seeing everything getting set up at the near side. Oscar, Bob, Antonio, Nusa, Jurgen Strand Larson. Here is Nusa. 1-on-1 considering pass. This doesn't go towards anything here. And we have a foul here. Offensive foul. Jude Bellingham is down with contact from Sander Berge.
Yeah, he got clipped from Berge there. Haaland had a goal in 20 of the last 23 competitive appearances for Norway. 14 straight. And he is going to have to look on, maybe dejected the rest of the way as he got a camera shot.
This will be left behind from Jordan Pickford. As he'll be set to get into a long kick. If this result holds, England will go on to the semifinals. It will be the third team to head to the semifinal. We have one confirmed matchup, France versus Spain. The other confirmed matchup is yet to be determined, but it's the winner of this match against the winner of the Argentina-Switzerland match. So now, it is out to the near side, Leo Ostigard. With the last touch, it'll be inbounded by Reece James. Harry Kane looking to get set up and score his 7th goal. And somebody got knocked down. Offensive foul, Bukayo Saka.
Big set for a goal kick. Again, a lot of that stuff is happening alongside England. A lot of knockdowns here as we'll get some possession in midfield and get things started again.
We're in the 108th minute. There has to be answers for Solly Solbakken and company. Now that Erling Haaland is subbed out, a big shock. Contact over midfield, Norway looking to advance. England and the Norwegians, they are contesting the ball, lands on the Frederick Arsnes. Leo Ostigard now behind. Back over to Orjan Nyland. Over towards Ostigard, who's surveying. Ostigard across. Over to Christopher Ayer. Moved up front. And the Vikings want to get set up. We're going to tie this game up at 2 apiece. Looking to set up the penalty shootout. Along the far side for Oscar Bob. Now back behind for Sander Berge. Bob again. Oscar Bob. Still surveying. Bob moves up front for Patrick Berg. Berg shot! Sails over the crossbar!
I like that look, though, Alec. He had plenty of space to shoot just outside the penalty area. Again, sailed it a little bit, but he had that lane. You got to take it.
You had to take your chances on Jordan Pickford, who's been excellent here today for the English side. He's been stellar for Everton, and he represents England on the highest level. Along the far side, does it reach somebody on Norway? Yes, it does. And they'll restart as Nusa tried to slide a pass. but he gets walked up by three Englishmen, and he'll counter here. What's the speed? Saka's coming up the near side. He has some numbers behind him. As Saka surveys. Rushing back is Iyer. Saka has faked the front. Save Nealon. Whoa, there is a save from Orjan Nealon that he needed. And here's a turnover. Coming back is Ted Spence. Spence is trying. Another save. Guilty rebound. Another save by Orjan Nealon. Who's coming up? Watch here in extra time. We'll see if something comes out of this. But Nealon, oh my goodness.
3 straight saves. You just talk about Saka again. He was close in the second half, and then you have a chance through the second half of extra time. Nealon makes 3 monster saves trying to keep his team desperately in this.
Norway is knocking on the doorstep. However, it's been England on the attack here, as has been the case here this extra time. Bukayo Saka will move it up through the middle. Offside, they're going to call. So Norway will get it back.
Yes, they will. We'll get a substitution here for England as well, as it looks like Jude Bellingham also coming off the pitch. So goal scorers no longer available, but England still has the lead.
England will play for a more defensive role. They're going to see it's going to be Dan Burn who comes on for the Three Lions. Jude Bellingham walks up to a salute from the English crowd.
And what he's hoping still stands the test of time for a game winner, if not for the next set of 10. Norway's got possession in the attacking half.
They do. So defensive substitution. So England's going more of a more relaxed defense. So Kane and Saka being the forwards up front. I don't think this is more along the lines of a 4-4-2 formation for the English. This is the formation that Lionel Scaloni uses with their Argentines, by Lionel Messi, and Julian Alvarez up front. They're the defending World Cup champions, looking to find and looking to do something that's not been done since the 1960s, win back-to-back World Cups. Along the near side, Martin Odegaard over to Jorgen Strand Larsen is batted up into the air. It doesn't go towards Nusa. Saka got this one towards the middle of the pitch. And the Norwegians have to restart. Time ticking here for Norway. It's moved up. Tic-tac-toe they go. Nusa wanted to go through, but this was last touch by Everetti Eze, as Bellingham has put on the purple shirt right on top of his jersey. So England a chance to clear. But it's excellent defense from the English.
Yeah, they've been kept Norway's shape, and on the outside, England hasn't been too much, as Alex said. It's at a premium now. You're kind of getting in park the bus territory inside this next 8 minutes. England's got the lead. Bellingham off the pitch from the substitution as Burn is in. Got to be able to find a way to hold now.
And England's parking the bus. They have 4 defenders back at the line of the penalty area. And with Erling Haaland subbed off, of course, you're going to rely on his supporting cast here to force a penalty shootout. Odegaard, Jorgen Strand Larsen, Antonio Nusa has to come from somebody here. Maybe even Oscar Bob from what we're seeing. And Nusa, Sander Berge, over towards the middle. On a shake and bake, here's Odegaard over to Bob. It's back over to Odegaard. Odegaard waits as he has one towards the box. It's going to be settled down by Berge again. Antonio Nusa walks in. Nusa. The cross gets blocked off. Norway coming for a corner kick.
And what's it going to look like now? Yes, as it deflects off an England leg. No Haaland in for the prototypical headers. It's their 7th corner.
So probably you could, I know the easy answer would be play for the header. Maybe you want to play this short and opt for a quick strike from the top of the box.
See what we get. You call it.
Here comes the cross for a header inside. Gets knocked down. The shot is a eye.
Yeah, it looks like Alec, that one just got airmailed a little bit. I've been calling Bob's name a lot of late, but he really hasn't found the accuracy in any of these shots.
He's found the shots, but not the accuracy. Norway needs that accuracy. That almost was a defensive foul on Norway, which could have led to a free kick for England. But Norway keeps possession. Desperation looming in their faces. They have 5.5 minutes to right things up. So now here they are over at midfield, pushing everything. England parking the bus. Here is Sander Berge, over towards the middle and then towards the right. Martin Odegaard, the captain. Odegaard changes pace, sets the cross inside. That's why to George Strand Larson. This will be off of Antonio Nusa on the square. It will be a goal kick.
5 minutes thereabouts left for England for their semifinal dream to come true.
They've been looking for it and a chance to go to the FIFA World Cup final at New York, New Jersey. A possible game with Argentina on the line should they defeat Switzerland later tonight. Elliot Anderson, that's off of Norwegian. One stutter set from Frederick Marsnes. Gets dispossessed. And another man gets tripped up. That's a foul.
You're going to see a lot of that right now, maybe some one-on-ones within this next set of 5+ or so to try to get around the defense of England. Norway needs to find a way to press. We'll see if they can do it. Looks like Martin Odegaard ended up drawing that foul, and this will be a free kick just outside the box.
Antonio Nusa one-on-one, the outside of Reece James. And one thing underrated aspects of this game, John, is that there have been no yellow cards or red cards assessed at any point.
I'm not sure what happened here, Alec. When you get to it, you take the call away. I think you talked about a card. I think we're finally going to get one.
Oh, don't tell me that I'm going to jinx it anymore.
Yes.
Here comes the free kick to the inside, as this is off of Jordan Pickford. Well, somebody may have hit Pickford. Well, and yes. Oh, just when we speak of yellow cards. Oh, I jinxed it. That's on me. That's on me. That's the announcer jinx in action.
No, that was a great call by you. It looks like Ayer got a piece of it. There was some big contact there trying to win that ball. I think Pickford, I'm surprised he doesn't need an extra minute after that collision. My goodness.
I almost thought there was friendly fire for Morgan Rogers at first glance.
You're right, it was. But Rogers did get a piece of it, honestly. No, you're right. I saw the replay there. I think that's why Ayer's a little bit upset about that card. I think he's got every right to be.
Yeah, because most of it came from Morgan Rogers. That looked more friendly fire, if anything. Yeah, Norway, they cannot afford to waste another opportunity. Yeah, most of the contact came from Rogers. Now, there is an appeal process for yellow cards, but in the wake of the situations with Fuller Balogun and Gerald Kwanzaa, I think FIFA could have a process to appeal for red cards in any case. Because the Balogun situation, I don't think that was enough to be a red card, and it should have been in the first place. That's where another day is England clears it out. So as to delay some more clock. Time is still ticking here. And we're wondering who's the last touch. 2 minutes left. And the Free Lion is going to sing along to Wonderwall by Oasis. Should they hang on to win here at Miami Stadium? This is moved up for Odegaard. This pass wide for Nusa. As he had all the space to walk in should he received that pass. And that's offside.
Yes, it was by a stride and a half. Again, you got some of those lion heads in terms of the England flag and everything else in the crest. They are probably 3-4 minutes away here as Harry Kane gets hit again. That is the 5th time he's been knocked down on the pitch. This time he gets hit in the head, and we'll see where the possession's going to go. I think it's going to belong to England, but he's been getting beat up. He tries to battle for a header. He actually knocks heads alongside with Ayer, who just got the yellow card.
Oh man! So and I know he's just two guys battling for the loose ball. And I know he's all right, but that could have been that was. I can't find the right words for it.
Yeah, Harry Kane has been hit around like a pinata a little bit. I know soccer headers and all that stuff that can be pretty difficult at this point, but don't want to take too many of those. See what Norway can do. They're running out of time.
30 seconds until we reach a possible stoppage time. Eberechi Eze is burning down precious clock here for Norway. Jordan Pickford is sent this towards the near side, and England's comfortable playing defense. John Stones intercepted by Frederick Marston. Norway has to hurry now. They have to get the legs going now. As this is headed away by England on the chase down Oscar Bob, but winning that battle is Eberechi Eze. It will be an inbound for Norway as it exits up. Jet Spence actually touched it. So it'll be Norway on the inbound. We'll see if the referee puts stoppage time here. I believe they will. As there's some hugs and embrace along the Norwegian side. England inbounding at 2 minutes of stoppage time. That's how much Norway has left on their World Cup ambitions. Towards the far side, handled down by Morgan Rogers. Rogers wants to tear this one up. Marsness shuts him down, and this is taken out of bounds as Erling Haaland watches onwards. A surprise substitution in the second half of extra time as Norway gets this one deep, but it's actually X'd out of play, so England's going to get back possession. What is Norway doing?
You don't want to do that here, Alec. It's going to allow them to bleed some more time. Again, we only said 2 extra minutes here, and this could be right in the bag. Nobody's not going to have time to get up the pitch.
Nealon came out, tries to play the ball, but another bad kick has resulted in England burning down some more clock. This will be all the way down to the defensive third for England, and Jordan Pickford will do a long kick. Battle for a loose ball. Will be won by Norway. Patrick Berg on the way back towards the left center back. This will be Frederick Marston. We'll move it up towards the middle. Time running down for Norway. And this is cleared away by the English. And Eberechi Eze playing keep away as he advances down. Norway read it well. Last chance for the Vikings to send this to a penalty shootout. Here's Antonio Nusa towards the middle. Loose ball out down by Bob. Oscar Bob good head as it's cleared away. Boyan Nealon has to get out of his crease. Maybe you want to put the goalkeeper now if you want to get the tie and goal here to send to a penalty shootout. They have to get the cross in to where the ball gets set bodies there. England's not going to allow them. They left it out. Norway's going to inbound it. We'll see if they're going to let them go here. There was some contact from Dan Burn as this will head towards the right center back. Christopher Iyer has moved down, and the final whistle sounds. The Free Lions will roar on to the semifinals.
Jordan Bellingham with a couple of goals end up getting it done. Again, the first half was a lot of damage. It took us into the first half of extra time to be able to get that winner there as Jude Bellingham gets a couple and shoulder up gets it at 36 to get the opener for Norway, but it wasn't enough. And Alec, as we talked about the possession game for England, I thought was pretty good. Once they got that go-ahead goal in the half, it really didn't get the feel that Norway was going to find a way to get another press. They had another corner, but you didn't have Haaland on the end because he was the substitution that was out. There was plenty of camera shots, I'm sure, on Fox and Telemundo showing him in the mix of not being available after that substitution. You get that corner, he's not there to recipient for the head, and England's going to move on. Norway at times looked good, but too much possession, too much talent there for England. They find a way to get it done. That was an entertaining game.
It was. For your first taste of action in the World Cup, you're in for a treat for when Spain versus France comes around.
I hope I didn't, again, step all over you, Alec. I think the broadcast, for all intents and purposes, went pretty well. Again, that's because I work with a pro, but I really appreciate you allowing me on the broadcast and have some fun with this. It was pretty cool.
Shout out to Norway. They went out all smiles here, and they made their country proud. This is their best finish ever in a World Cup. And this only up from here. The future's bright for the Norwegians.
I think so. I think from what you saw there, they've certainly shown themselves quite well. Again, you look on the other end, I just want to mention this quickly before I get the heck out of here. As far as Spence in the mix and the substitution, Digit Spence did pretty well in that second half. He made some pressure there and alongside Nyland to push him on the backhand, push the back foot there of Norway in their defense and stretch them out. You talk about the substitutions of the coach and the fact who was left on the roster and who was off. I think England showed themselves pretty well, in my opinion, Alec.
Yes, they did. And that concludes this action of the World Cup. England wins 2-1 over Norway. Well, thank John. I'm Alec Nava saying so long from Miami and good night.
Thank you, Alec. Again, that was a lot of fun. Hopefully, get a chance to talk soon.
All right, see you later.
See ya. England wins 2-1. They get a goal in extra time. They hold it off in the second half, and that is it. Again, little practice here for myself, but alongside Alec Nava, he was able to take the full front of that call, and it ended up being a pretty good game. So move on to the semifinal. Does England, again, they await the winner of Argentina and Switzerland. That coming up next. England will be off until Wednesday. Again, the winner of this will play on Wednesday between Argentina and Switzerland. Most likely Argentina, but we'll see. And then we have Switzerland and Argentina coming up next. All right, so I'm signing off here. You guys have a good weekend. We'll talk soon. Peace.